Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah,
the bonus to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation and much love to Yakim out there pushing out his word, truth, sincerity. Brothers here from Tampa, doing a live stream again. Lord's willing, this is an edifying lesson, that we're going to put out there. As you see, man, all right, the Lord's making moves. People thinking that shit's about to go back to normal. All right, it's not going back to normal. All right, it's just going to continue to get worse and worse. All right, and the new normal is the preparation for the new world order, man, for you simpletons. All right, and let me see if I can press it. Go ahead and speak. Look for something.
Kind of, as the brother said, this one in Habakkuk 2, the vision set for a point in time, at the end shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And there's no more tarrying, man. This next move has been made to bring in this new world order. We in that next phase, so there's really no turning back. You know what I mean? It'd be just too much to turn back. And Esau already has the world in a position that he wanted it, that he needed in order to pretty much fulfill this so-called new world order.
This Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50 says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." It ain't gonna get better, man. It ain't gonna, America ain't gonna be great again. The economy ain't gonna bounce back. All right. What you want to go back to? The people want to go back to normal. What? Go back to work? Go back to being a slave? But what the scriptures say is many great miseries are gonna happen. So what you think is bad times right now, miserable times? You're all cooped up in your house. Well, guess what? It's gonna get even worse, man. The mentalities of people are going to get worse and worse. Like the scripture say, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, people are going to start to become more and more cutthroat. All right, and ultimately, the miseries are going to increase to the point where the nukes is just going to come and wipe this place out.
Okay, quick one, real quick. It's 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 20. It says, "And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be open before the firmament, and they shall see all together." And that's really the times that we're in right now. The scriptures are being, the book is being opened. All right, the breakdowns are going out. All right, this truth is flourishing. The elect is being sealed. But at the same time, as Ezekiel 37 is taking place, the valley of dry bones. All right, the elect are being raised up. This world is vanishing away, man. And now it's more clear and apparent than at any other point in time before, man. Maybe in 2019, let's just say, man, you could tell people, hey, man, this economy is about to collapse, everything's going to crash, everybody's going to be, rioting and famine and so on and so forth, and people are, oh, man, you just doom and gloom, man, whatever, whatnot. But here it is in 2020, man, and this is how it's been, man, since day one, January 1st, 2020. I mean, it's been vanishing, but now it's more apparent than ever, man. I think there's one more verse. Let me jump down to verse 22. "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." All right, and so that's basically the times that you have going on, man. This is the unraveling of this here world that you have, man. It's not gonna go back to a so-called norm, man. You have people that's gonna be, regular neighbors and buddies. They always go to the fish hole together, or whatever, whatnot. They becoming enemies with one another, man. All right.
I got a precept. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 37. "Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." So that's what you have going on right now, man. We're 2 or 3 hours before the child being born. All right, and what now? Those contractions, they're not slack anymore, right? It's not, this bitch is ready to pop the head out. Okay. That's why it said her 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, and that's what's happening to this society, man. This kingdom, all right. The beast is system, all right. It's crumbling before our eyes, all right. And then the plagues that the Lord is sending are coming right back to back, Let me keep reading. It says, verse 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And that's what you got going on, man. Not just here in America. All right, the sorrows in the what to say, sorrows in the morning. That's worldwide. This epidemic, this was global. All right, and guess what? All the calamities, the plagues the Lord is sending are going to be global too. But the main source, all right, the main place that's going to receive those plagues is America. All right, so this is going to be on every side. Don't matter where you go. All right, what level of society you live in. All these plagues, these birth pains are coming for us. Meaning you people out here in America, man.
I got a quick one. Daniel 12:1, and it reads, "At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince like it which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time." And that's things time we're headed to, unprecedented times, man. Just for the simple fact how we know that we are in these last days, the prophecies, because when has Babylon the Great, aka America, when has Babylon the Great has ever been in this type of situation, man? The whole world is on a lockdown. You know what I mean? This is a global effect, man. Meaning the elites, man, the global elites. The people that run this world, man. They're trying to fulfill their enterprise, their new world order.
Like you said, like you just read it, there's gonna be a time coming where basically this stuff has never happened before. So what you just saying right, this never happened on the earth before, where the whole world shut down. This is the first time, in history where a nation has the whole world under his foot. All right, put them all in all types of fear. All right, this is this leading up to the next thing. You got it.
It says, and at that time shall thy people, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So even though these, bad times are coming, what's beautiful go hand in hand. The destruction goes hand in hand with the salvation, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, these times are coming. That's bad, but also it's the restoration of the nation of Israel. Without this time restore the kingdom back unto Israel. All the prophets had that, that question in their mind, like when is the kingdom going to be restored? But now we're in those times.
There's a precept in Ecclesiastes onto hinting at what the brother's talking about. Let me pull it up real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, okay. Let me get it just real quick, just a point. It is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and I'm just gonna read verse 5. It says, "A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing." Right now the Lord is casting away, away the stones of Babylon. The structure of this place is being destroyed, spiritually and physically. All right, because the Lord is what? There's another precept. The Lord setteth up one. How does it go again?
Let me read Sirach chapter 10. Yeah, 4. Yeah, Sirach 10 and 4.
Can I get it real quick? We won't butcher it.
So the book of Sirach chapter 10, verse 4, it says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it what it is profitable."
So the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. So the Lord gave the power over to Esau. You can find that in the book of Job 9:24. Okay, but now is the time for the power to be transferred over to one that's profitable. Okay, so those stones are being gathered together of Israel right now. All right, those lively stones, while the stones of Esau is being brought down. Going into what the brother was saying, going into the times that we're in, because we're in the time of Babylon. Babylon the Great to be destroyed. Okay, and it's the time of Israel to start being built up, which is what's been happening. Okay. You still have more on that?
No, that was it.
All I got this one real quick. Jeremiah 30 and 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." All right, and we're seeing the signs of that right now, which is leading up until what it's going to talk about here.
Kind of real quick, it said their faces shall be turned to paleness.
Right.
So, you know, and we're starting to see glimpses of that happening with this whole coronavirus thing, man. With the lockdowns, you know, people, that paleness in their faces is coming from the fear. All right, the fear that's going to be, you know, be upon these people. And we see the fear of these people in just something as small as this coronavirus, you know, just what they've been told on the news. You know, from what people saw on the news, people went into panic mode quickly, man. And people talking about they don't want to go to the grocery store no more. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And people were terrified, man, to the point to where people didn't even want to shake hands no more.
They're about to open up Florida and some other states and shit, and now you got people talking about they should wait longer. You know, it's the virus is still here. People are scared, man. Their faces is paleness right now. You know,
Started. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, this ain't shit.
Yeah, because they're just terrified of the invisible enemy.
Yeah.
So, you know, what happens when there's a physical enemy and you're going to be seeing in your door, kicking your door down, you know?
And real quick, also speaking on that paleness, you know, I was telling this brother the other day about, you know, hey, a lot of times, you know, you might not be affected by the coronavirus getting sick, but, you know, I had heard a story about, you know, somebody living with their relative, and then also, you know, people, they're your own household, but, you know, just the stress of all this, the paleness the brother's going into got people on the edge. You know, one relative started to kick the other relative out, but before that, you know, made the relative quit their job because of the fear of all this. Don't bring that back, whatever, whatnot. Then you brought them into the house, or you know, they live together, but it's now all of a sudden, yo, you got an X amount of months to move out. I can't take the stress about all this stuff going on. So it's like, yo, you've taken somebody's job away, made them stay at home, or whether you got laid off from your job, now you have to move your living situation. So people are bugging out over finances. It's like, damn, what am I gonna do? I got to go back out there trying to get a job in the midst of everything being shut down. All these unemployed people, I got to move, I got a kid, I got to feed, this and that, so on and so forth. So the virus ain't getting them sick, but it's economically and looking forward to these things that's coming to pass and how they're gonna fare, man. A lot of people are killing themselves over this, man. New York and San Francisco or California where rent's super high. People lost their jobs and things like that, man. They jumped out the windows with their children in their hands, man. All right. This is that, and this is only the beginning, man. They ain't even seen, you know, anything after this, man. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Going into the paleness, you know, people's faces is Job 11 and 20, where the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and the hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. So, you know, they're turning into paleness as they're losing their hope. You know, as the scriptures say, you know, the light of body's eyes. So, you know, their hope is failing them. So that's why they have nothing to pretty much to continue them in their society as far as the hope goes. That's why they're dead.
And that's why you gotta remember too, these people, their hope is in wickedness, their hope is in evil. You know, they don't understand it, they think it's good, but the truth is that they have all their hopes and their wishes on evil and wickedness. So that's why it's starting to fail them. And, you know, as the Lord keeps pulling this thing further and further in, these people are going to start losing more hope, and who knows what they're going to do after that. So I'll finish reading this here, back in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 6. Oh no, 7. I read 6. Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. And the brother just finished reading Daniel's 12 and 1. And at the end of that verse, it talks about those that were be found written in the book. It says, it is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who's that he? Okay, you know, that he is talking about the Lord's chosen, the elect. They're going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. So all these things that the Lord has planned for America or wherever country you may live in, yeah, it's going to be bad, but guess what? If you be one of his, you're going to be saved out of it. So that's where hope and faith comes in. You know, you wouldn't be out here doing what you're doing as far as, you know, preaching the word in truth and sincerity if you didn't believe that you may be one of those men. We know it's going to get ugly out here, and we see it's going to happen. We see all the signs that the Lord is showing us that he's about to put the red bow on America and deliver it up. So, you know, if you see that, then you have to have hope in Yahweh Hashem Yeshua that he's going to save you out of that hell. Go ahead, brothers.
I got a quick one just to follow up between you and Brother Hanakla saying that, you know, these times, right? And what you're just going into about him being delivered. Matthew 24, verse 21 and 22 says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened."
Yeah, the elect say the days shall be shortened. So this book is, yeah, it's for the Israelites, but it's really specifically for a certain group of Israelites. All right, going into the elect. It's the elect, the chosen ones, the ones that are going to be saved. Because mad people are going to die. We talk about it all the time. Mad Israelites are going to die. We see Israelites dying from this CV bullshit. So if they're dying over that little shit and other little things, when Jacob's trouble comes, it's called Jacob's trouble. You know, so it's going to be a lot of Israelite death, but he shall be saved out of it. It's the elect. It's all the work that brothers are doing isn't necessarily just for us. It's for the body. It's for the elect. We're doing this for Yahweh Hashem Yeshua, chosen people. Let me read on just a little bit and then I'll give it back. I'm going to go back to Jeremiah 30, verse 8. "For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Lord Yahweh, thy power, and David their king, whom I will rise up." So the Lord's he's gonna take the bonds off the Israelites' necks, starting with the elect. All right, and basically he's gonna move it over onto the heathen nations. Okay, and they're gonna serve the Lord. But right now we have to go through this obstacle course that the Lord has laid out for us. All right, and that shows you if you're fit, if you can endure it, if your endurance is up, and you can get through the course that the Lord has set for you. You can finish the course. Then the Lord's going to give you something beautiful after that, and all your enemies that were rooting against you are going to be put in the same position you was in, but worse. Right. Yeah, I don't know if you have something.
Kind of did. Anybody got a precept? Okay, come on.
Just something what the brother spoke on.
So I'm going to go back to talking about the destruction of Babylon.
Okay, yeah, well, it kind of probably ties into it. So, as the brother was speaking, you know, this whole financial, you know, system is, you know, being brought low, and that's really because, like, before this even transpired, research showed you that the reason why couples divorced or, you know, they had fights or breakups is because of money. You know, financial system was like 78% of why couples divorce, because financial, you know, the whole financial system, you know, just being squeezed to its nut left in you, you know, all your wages and stuff is just being garnished from you pretty much. So that puts people, you know, they come home stressed out. That puts people, they fight, man. So what more now, the whole COVID-19, people losing jobs and they coming home. That's why the domestic violence cases has sprung up so heavy. That's the Lord creating this perfect storm, man, for the things that brothers have been speaking about from other apostles on down. Thus said the Lord, for these things to transpire. This is the Lord. Just that water is now starting to boil, man. Right? So this Ecclesiastes 12:1. "Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." And that's what brothers are supposed to do. Seek the Lord early, right? While he may be found, man. Right? Before the evil days come. Remember, all right? It says, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." Right? When we have liberty, all right? Because people have been given liberty, man, this whole time, and then here's this whole COVID-19 thing pop off. Now people are questioning. Now people are inquiring to brothers, hey, you know, what's going on? Or you know, now they scared now. All right. But when they had liberty, before things actually, you know, transpired, you know, they didn't remember the Lord, man. All right. So last verse I'm gonna read here says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." And all these small businesses, all right, that's pretty much what this whole thing doing, is wiping out all these small businesses, these whole mom and pop shops, all right, getting rid of that whole middle class, to where, hey, only people that's going to get bailed out of this thing is the major corporations, like your Walmarts, your big companies. All you other companies, man, what it is, they just pretty much drying you out, man. letting this thing take place to the point where you just all the 20, 30 years you put into getting that company started is all been wiped away, and within 2 months it's been all wiped away, man. All right, so that's what's happening. The destruction of Babylon the Great, and the Lord is hitting that financial system, man. Right?
Time, because before America's destroyed completely, the missiles is gonna be destroyed within first. This place is gonna be through by the time the missiles come and get it. And that's one of the ways that the Lord is taking this place down. Is beginning with using Esau to fuck the economy up.
Hey, real quick, I got a quick one. This is Isaiah 14 and 4. It says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, How has the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased?" Going back into what the brothers are speaking about. And like the brother said earlier, this has never really happened on planet Earth with all these shutdowns and the businesses shutting down and everything like that. It's coming to an economic standstill. In fact, read that next verse. You still got that?
Verse 4, Ecclesiastes 12:4 says, "The door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low."
So, and twofold, like you think back to World War I, World War II, all right, in these times, businesses was thriving, man. You had all these manufacturing companies and everything like that producing this and producing that and so on and so forth. But as we are approaching this here, this here time that we in now, everything came to a grinding halt, man. All right, now there's, you're starting to see pretty much like the brother said, the middle class being wiped out, man. This is like the largest transfer of wealth on the planet Earth, or in history, really. They're just taking everything from everybody, putting them all into subjection, trying to, pretty much issuing that New World Order system. But nevertheless, right now, as you start to see, the golden city is ceasing. The fun, the mirth and all these things that these people are out here normally used to doing and going out and spending money on big shit or whatever, whatnot. All that's done, man. The bars, the clubs, and everything is closed.
And real quick, too, back during the time of World War I, World War II, America was still like probably the #1 manufacturer. Then after that, they start moving stuff over to China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now America has been a worse position than it's ever been because we don't manufacture nothing. So when you manufacture things, that creates jobs. Well, America's in the worst position that's ever been because what really do we manufacture here? You know what I mean? The comparison to what we import to what we export here is like night and day. So here it is, America is really at its knees, man.
Yeah, but just to finish up the thought on that golden city, man. That ceasing, that thriving and everything going good, man. Everything, if the golden city is ceasing, how much more the rest of the cities out there, man? This is the pinnacle of all the other nations, the pinnacle of all the other cities, all the other places, man.
Revelation 18, the merchant city.
The merchant city, and all these things, and just like in Revelation 18, when this merchant city is taken off the face of the earth, all the other nations, they're gonna be mourning because they're like, damn, why? Because of the revenue and the streams of money that's coming out of this here place is going back to feed these other nations. Because like the brother was saying, we wind up shipping out all of our manufacturing jobs overseas to get cheaper products. This is why a lot of people are mad about the jobs being gone. They want the jobs back, but your products will go up. But nevertheless, America has now become a import country where it imports all of its goods. So this is kind of keeping these other nations somewhat fat. But once America is gone, man, this is going to be the end all be all for it, man. You already starting to see a lot of these things with the trade tariffs and so on and so forth, man. There's a lot of new so-called things coming into play for America, but all these things are pretty much putting a stranglehold on America, man. Everything that's being done in the last 10, 20 years for America is pretty much just putting more and more. It's the snare that Esau's being caught in, man. Like we was talking about, sending the jobs away, all right. But nevertheless, trade wars and so on and so forth, man. These are all these snares that's bringing this golden city to a cease, man, to an end, man. All right.
Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 52. It says, "Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan." Right, and we seeing those that groaning start with these people. People ain't got no money. Because they've been sitting at their houses, bullshit, doing nothing. The kids at home all the time now. So now the women are losing their minds. The spirit of these people is really starting to groan. They're groaning for the wrong things, but while the men of the Lord, we're rejoicing. Okay, that these things are happening, but nonetheless, that spirit is starting to come here to America. That spirit of groaning. Okay, and it says, verse 53: though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, and whenever brothers want to speak, hop in, just let me know.
Read that little last part you read. When she shall mortify the.
Oh, okay. That verse I was.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Verse 53, it says, though Babylon should mount up to heaven,
and Babylon is mounted up to heavens.
Mm-hmm.
It reached its pinnacle, man.
Yep. She's been exalted,
Exactly.
put on that pedestal.
Yep.
Like they say in the world about women. Well, Babylon is that whore that rideth the beast. Okay, Babylon the Great, aka America. This bitch has been put up on a pedestal, man. Where this whole world bowed down, man. Everybody's a sucker for America, man. They'll do anything that America says it.
That's why she's the mother of harlots.
Yeah.
The mistress of witchcraft, man.
Yeah.
And she's got everybody under her spell, man.
She done slept with them.
Yeah. They slept with her because what you sleep with these women is ultimately to get an end result. You want to get this.
The pleasures.
You want to get the pleasures. So what are the pleasures of these other nations? Why are they committing for it? To become fat. Like brothers was mentioning about the trading and all that stuff. This is why these nations have committed fornication with them, so that they can reap the benefits of sleeping around with this hoe, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the same. You can compare it to women in this world, man. Just look at the whole those ones that be on Instagram and they begin the most, put up on the pedestal the most. Those are the nastiest women to be around, man. And that's America for you. Cause that bitch will throw your ass under the bus and the police was to come through. Shit. And the policeman that's coming through is Yahweh. He's about to throw. Esau's getting, really it's Esau. Esau's, bringing out these troops and, bringing out all these different things upon the earth, pushing the buttons on people's nations. But he's gonna roll on these nations, man.
Yeah, America is just a fucking. The epitome of America is it's a porn star, just all powdered up. With just an ugly ass bitch on, when the cameras are, she's just an ugly bitch, ran the hell through.
The mother of harlots.
Exactly. Disease, all kind of diseases.
Had all these nuts busted.
Real quick, I blue lettered that word, right? To mount up to heaven, right? Because it's talking about how America was put up there, right? It says, I'm gonna read just a couple of these. It says to excel, to be superior to. It says to be exalted.
That's why the scriptures say that his speech was more stout than his fellow, because America has been exalted above, even among other Edomite nations.
Even the way he spoken, the way he spoke has turned the English language into basically the language of the world. Everybody has to follow after this because and people always say is one of the easiest languages to learn, but the way these people, especially these Englishmen, the people from over there in Britain, the way they talk, it astounds the people. You can hear a gook and you be like, oh man, I don't want to hear that shit. Or all these other nations, all these other languages. These nations, other people look at that like man, I don't want to hear that shit. But when it comes to the English, they listen to the way these Edomites talk. Because they have their words,
spells and that shit.
I believe in Revelation 13 it talks about that, about their speech. But nonetheless,
the land.
Yeah, he spake as a lamb. But either way, man, their language is exalted, because of the smooth words they preach to it. Was there more on that blue letter up?
That was it.
Okay.
It was all going to the same word.
Okay, let me continue this. 53 says, though Babylon should mount up to heaven.
And they mounted up to heaven physically too. Instead of space. They were the first ones to make it to space. Esau, America, more specifically.
Hey, real quick, Maya, because you just made a point, I want to read this real quick. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, and the words were softer than oil, but yet were they drawn swords.
Going back to that analogy of a woman, a harlot, a hoe, she'll sound real, she be pillow talking the shit out of Jake, but in her heart, it is, how am I gonna get off on this dude?
She's looking for a come up.
Yeah, she's looking for a come up, So that's the same thing that this devil's done, man, with his words, man, with his lies, his deceit. Okay, he's been trying to get off on you, Jay. That's why when you read in Sirach chapter 12, I believe it's like verse 17. It says, oh, though he's there to help thee first, he shall undermine thee. Okay, because that's just the way of these devils, man. You know, they're two forked tongue. They have a forked tongue, so like a forked tongue. You know, they mean one thing, they say one thing, and they mean another. Okay. Oh, that was it on that up?
Yeah, that was it.
Back in verse 53, it says, though Babylon should mount up to heaven, Jeremiah 51:53, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith Yahweh.
Shall spoilers come unto her? You know,
Rain on the parade.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what is gonna happen. You know, because what America has done that to all these other nations. Esau has been a spoiler unto these nations.
It's Isaiah. I get it for you.
Come.
Since thou hast spoiled many nations.
Yep. Esau has always gone into these nations and done whatever the hell he wanted to with these people. Well, now the Lord is going to turn things around on Esau, and he's going to have them spoilers, come upon them. Go ahead.
This is, I believe it's in Isaiah. Oh no, it's Habakkuk. Habakkuk, yeah. It's one in Isaiah too.
It's Habakkuk 2:8. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city of all that dwell therein.
I mean, just look at what Esau Edom has done to Iraq when he came up in there. All right, with the Gulf, the desert wars. Look what he did in Libya. All right, look what he's done in Venezuela.
Isaiah 33.
Con, you want to bring that up then now?
Yeah, I'll let him finish.
Okay, Con, go ahead.
Well, actually, let me go up 2 verses real quick. Habakkuk 2:5-6. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as death cannot be satisfied.
Hey, and real quick too, if I can say this, if you watch a lot of these, like at the last night, my dean was watching some shit on Netflix or whatever. If you watch a lot of these things, man, this witchcraft, this television, bro. A lot of these shows, bro, I can see like they was putting like religion in it, and then like they showed like it was like this East Indian chick, right? According to her beliefs and what she believed, she couldn't deal with an American man no more, right? Then she had a younger sister that was Americanized, that was like born over here, but she still had that heritage. So when she came over here, she pretty much told her boyfriend, American boyfriend, that look, I can't be with you no more because I have to go on what I believe. But you see, her younger sister that was born in America was telling her like, yo, you crazy, this and that. So the point is, when she came over here, this is what happened. Everybody forsake their ways, and come over to America and do what they want to do. All their beliefs, their religion, what they believe in.
Freedom.
Freedom to do whatever you know they so want to. And this is that place to do that, man. This is that wine. Come over here. That democracy. That's democracy. That's that wine. Where you come over to America, you can believe where you want to be. Be free. Be all you can be, man. That's why Babylon the Great. This is Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great can be destroyed, man. Go ahead, man. I just want to make that point.
There was more now.
Yeah, Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, like the brother saying, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, also in all these other nations plundering, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as his death could not be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right, because this is basically Esau's MO, man, going into all these different nations, plundering and usurping authority over these peoples in their so-called natural habitats or natural lands or whatever, whatnot. But Esau always got to have his hand in somebody else's cookie jar, man. That's how Esau get down.
Real quick, quick comment boards. I think you was in Jeremiah 50 earlier, right?
Hey, I still got here.
Okay, because two brothers posted up the same precepts. Jeremiah 50 and start at verse 10 and then 11. Read those two.
Jeremiah 50, verse 10. It says, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, save the Lord. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Because ye are grown fat as a heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls.
Go ahead, read that 12 too.
12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
That's already happening, you know. With Great Britain, they don't want nothing to do with you Americans, man. They're ashamed of you, you know.
They had
Like a
the-
failed project in the eyes of them.
You had the Brexit, you know, which was all, you know, America wasn't a part of the EU, but, you know, this is all part of their plan, getting these nations together.
It's part of the beast, though.
Yeah, so they could all work together as one solid unit, you know. But hey, that's all falling apart as well too, man.
That was it on verse 12. Nope. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land in the desert. That's it.
So back in Jeremiah 51, we read verse 53, verse 54. It says, "A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans." You know, and that land of the Chaldeans is America, man. All right. Verse 54 said, "A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction." All right. This is what's going to be seen and heard from this place, man. Gnashing and wailing of teeth over here. People going to be groaning out on the streets, man, for lack of food. All right, people gonna be dying, you know, being killed out on the streets. You know,
and ultimately that last cry is gonna be when the nukes is burning these people up, or just like because people are gonna be screaming. That movie Indiana Jones, the Ark of the Covenant, and when the dudes was getting cooked alive at the end of the movie, that's how people and they were screaming. That's how people, because the scripture tells you you're gonna be alive when the missiles are burning you up, and when your flesh is melting, you're gonna be alive to feel all that. So you get, you know, you're gonna be screaming, man. That's gonna be the last. That's gonna be the last scream heard in America for eternity. You know.
Hey, I got something just to back you up. Isaiah 13, 6 through 8. It says, "How ye for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands shall be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, that they shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames." Like the brother was going into, man, whenever that last call is gonna be them nukes, man. When them nukes start coming down, man, hey, man, it's gonna be like, you know, you walking down a hallway in the hospital, you know, where all the women are giving birth and they're all going to labor at the same time, they all pushing, you just hear that loud scream, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna be like outside, man.
Hey, man, because it's gonna be leading up to that, man. It's gonna be horrible. If you're alive to see the missiles, man, the Lord hates you. But just imagine, some people might actually be glad the missiles are coming. Like, it's over finally. Because people are gonna be suffering. Read that again. There's like pains and sorrows, man. People are gonna be bugging the hell out, just in fear of just every second. They're in fear of their life.
This is Isaiah 13, 6 through 8. It says, "How ye for the day of Yahweh is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames."
Yeah, you see people that get so scared, they just become immobilized, you know? They can't move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just freaking hell out.
Shake
Some
this
people just
shit.
drop dead, pass out. Yeah.
And that's scriptural. Luke 21, man's heart's failing.
Yeah.
Fear, you know?
So this is the things that's coming to the earth, and then if you do make it to those missiles, man, you're gonna feel every inch of that fire that's gonna consume you. Go ahead, out, man. On it.
Verse 55, it says, "Because the Lord hath spoiled Babylon, and destroyed out of her the great voice when her waves do roar like great waters, and noise of their voices uttered."
Everybody, like brothers were saying earlier, everybody want to come here. That mentality is heard around the four corners of the earth. That's being taken away from this place, man. Nobody want to come to America now. This is the number one places with the COVID-19 cases. Ain't nobody coming to Disney World.
That glory is
Yeah.
It says, verse 56, "Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for the Lord power of recompenses shall surely requite." You know, because that's what the Heavenly Father is coming back to do. It's coming back. It's called payback. All right, payback to what you did to the apple of the Most High's eye, starting with Yahushua. Okay.
And everybody in this place got to suffer it. Like you said, they're going to be invaded. All right, even before the missiles, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. If you're here in America, you screwed. Okay, the outcome is not looking very good for you, unless you be part of the 1/3 of the nation of Israel. It's not looking very good for you, man. You know, there's going to be civil unrest, starvation, all right, riots out there. Okay, then there's going to be foreign troops out there. You're going to hear planes flying overhead, dropping dudes with parachutes. Okay, then the martial law, then the chip. You know, there's a lot coming to this place, man. And then all the final showdowns, the nukes and Yahushua and chariots.
Quick precept, back you up, you know, because our punishment is accomplished, man. The scriptures say the punishment of our iniquity is accomplished, O daughter Zion. So this is the Heavenly Father rising up to the prey. All right, the scriptures say, Zephaniah 3:8, wait ye upon me till I rise up against the prey. And that's what we're doing. We're waiting on the Heavenly Father, all right, to rise up against the prey. And that's what he's doing. How do we know? Because the plagues are upon the earth. These are the signs that the Heavenly Father is visiting the earth. Because what scripture say, he will make inquisition for those that have hurt unjustly, man. This is Psalms 12:3. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongues that speaketh proud things, who have said with our tongue, we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord over us? For the oppression of the poor, for the sign of the needy. Now will I arise, said the Lord. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him, man. And that's the so-called white man, Esau Edom. He puffeth at you Jakes, man. All right, even to this day, he feels that his RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, is going to be made mandatory. It's going to chip the whole world. But according to prophecy, the Most High is getting ready to upset this man, man. The scriptures say the Most High, and there be many devices in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Heavenly Father, that shall stand. And the counsel of the Heavenly Father is utterly destroying Babylon the Great, man. That's why all these nations are coming up against the great whore that sitteth upon the beast. And even her allies is going to hate her, man, and shoot missiles at her, man. So there's nothing that can go against prophecy. Prophecy must be fulfilled.
Hey, if I can say something real quick, hey, because what I think World War II started in like 1939.
Yeah, around there.
Right? And we got so-called Social Security like 1936, right? That was that America was bankrupt. So what did we give up? We gave it to the people. You know, that was that payment, man. Everybody gets Social Security, man. You know, accounts. That's all it is. You know, we all owned by the elites, man.
That's your case number.
Exactly. That was that exchange for that debt.
The receipt number.
Yep, exactly. We needed to get out of debt, right? So what we gave the people as an exchange for that, and that was supposed to be temporary. So what's happening right now, right? You getting ready? Yeah, exactly. We getting to be a World War III, and what? The same thing had to happen, but this time it's gonna be the chip, man. They're gonna implement the chip, and then what? That's like the brother said, United Nations gonna come here and set things in order, because this is just a corporation. The business just going out of business. So what? The elite's gonna send their military in there, round everybody up, give everybody, tag their property.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's it. Just like he did in 1936, bro.
Yeah, like you said, they're just selling you off to the bankers, because that's who's just. And what do they do? Shit, I lost the train of thought.
Hey, but to add on what you were saying, this is why if you ever go to, I think it's nationaldebtclock.org or something, where you can see the debt that's going up, they'll break it down to you. Every U.S. citizen owes X amount of dollars, man.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why, you know, when you pay your taxes and so on and so forth, this is where this is all going to, man. All right, only a small percent of your so-called taxes go to building roads and so on and so forth, man.
God, yeah. And what I was thinking of was, like brother was saying about you just purchased, you know, you got the serial number or whatever. Well, just like certain corporations, like Walmart, Sam's Club, which is like I said, America's a corporation. These corporations will take out, they'll put, they won't tell you about it, and you benefit no way from it. But they'll take out life insurance on you. When you work for them, after a certain amount of years, they'll take a life insurance out. So if you die while you're working there, they get $1 million, and they'll send you, like our aunt, she worked for Sam's Club for decades.
Hey, real quick, that's why Walmart like hiring them old folks.
The old folks, yeah.
Go ahead.
So what they'll do is they'll let you work there, okay, kind. And then once you die, boom, they'll cash in. And then, like for our aunt, all they sent her to the funeral was like some slices of bread from Sam's Club and shit. For that.
Yeah, they should have paid for the funeral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what they'll do, and so that's what the bankers are about to do with all these people that are gonna die. Well, that's their mentality. We about to cash in on these, you know. This is just going. as they say.
Yeah.
That's why they're gonna send their boys in here to chip everybody up.
Cleanup crew.
Yep, and clean everything up. Cause this place, cause that's how the troops gonna come in, man. Like the brother says, it's gonna be so much. This place is bankroll. When this place is. Why you think the elites and left and going to their bunkers and shit, man? They left America and go to their bunkers. That's it for this place, man. So the elites gonna come in, right? They gonna send they united, cause all nations are in league with this, man. Because if you notice, certain China, they purchased up a lot of companies over here and stuff. What's one company with Smithfield? Yeah, China purchased Smithfield back in like 2013 for like $4.73 billion, man. All right, so man, those troops gonna come in. They gonna clean things up because it's gonna be order chaos. United Nations gonna send them troops in and chip everybody up, and then what? Look, their property is bam. This your payment for this depression, this third world war we get ready to.
Somebody grab 2 Corinthians chapter 2, 11, because we know, like the brother said, that they're doing what they've been doing was this whole last couple months was creating the chaos, and now they're about to bring the order. All right, order out of chaos, which they've set the stage, and now it's going to continue to get worse. That's why they're going to allow people to go back. They've already did their own little program, and they told you it's coming back. The coronavirus is coming back. They just did it in a subtle way. Oh, well, we hope it don't come back, but it's probably going to come back, you know. Go ahead, you got somewhere.
Yeah, I got it for you. 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices.
That's right, man. So we see how they're systematically shut this place down so they can push forward their agenda, because they've already created the chaos, man. And now they're going to present the solution, which is the solution is ultimately going to lead to the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
All right? And the mark of the beast is going to lead to this nuclear destruction.
Yeah.
It's going to lead to the vaccine, and then people are going to get mad that not everybody's getting the vaccine. We need to find out who has it, who don't has it, you know, and then it's going to bring...
Especially you niggas in space.
Especially.
You got the biggest cases of it, you know.
Real quick, an article that just posted on Google says, new report says coronavirus pandemic could last for 2 years and may not subside until 70% of the population has immunity. So that's just vaccination. So they going back to that point that things not gonna be able to go back to normal fully until everybody has the immunization, meaning everybody's vaccinated.
So they're gonna push that fear on the people and say, you know, so that they can get in order.
And really, that's the very definition of terrorism.
Exactly.
Okay, terrorism is what? Government intimidation to push a policy. What are they doing? They're intimidating you, talking about don't leave the house because you're gonna catch the boogeyman. All right, it's an invisible enemy, you know.
Right.
But don't worry, you know we got a vaccine in the books,
yeah,
you know, to push that policy. We got a chip coming for your ass, you know. And that they're what? Intimidating, you know. That's real terrorism. The real terrorism is committed by governments, not, you know, some shoe bombers they're working out of their mother's garage.
Hey, I was gonna say, in fact, I think that's actually the actual definition of terrorism.
Yeah,
That's what he said, yeah.
Like, it has to be a government doing this, you know what I
It
mean?
started in France, I believe. It was like 17 or 1800s. But ultimately, it was to push a policy, you know. And then this is now with the media. All right, Esau's witchcraft, his deception has gone up a whole nother level. He can deceive the whole world in 1 hour, you know, 30 minutes. He can put up a live broadcast, which the whole world's gonna see, and have everybody believing there's something. Oh my God, because you know, you watch a movie and you'll swear the mountain just blew up, but it didn't really happen. So Esau can show you anything he wants on TV, and it'll look real as hell, or tell you whatever you want, man, whatever he wants.
Hollywood magic.
Yeah, I got the definition for terrorism, and you got to listen to these words clearly. It says the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. So this is coming from the top going down, not really from the bottom going up. You know, they got you thinking some regular everyday Joes out here is terrorizing the governments and the civilians of the population, when it's in reality, it's your governments that's terrorizing you about these things, man.
That's why I said we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. This is one of his devices.
They showed that in the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, they had where on Earth they were saying that the niggas who were killing a bunch of people out there in Mars were these was this one group. But really, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he ends up finding out that the real enemy was the people who were saying those people were the terrorists, which was Esau. You know, he was the one of, you know, he was so to say a high up elite, you know, because he was the one running shit in Mars. But you know, that movie showed a lot of things. You know, they had the chip in there and everything. But
Yeah,
you know,
another one is pretty much the same scenario, but a little different. But they called the fifth wave, where they remember they were chipping at people,
Yeah.
and then they gave them the glasses, and they said that the aliens would look like some creatures and shit,
Yeah.
but it was really them.
Yep.
You know, so that's why Esau's the master of disaster. man.
Government was the problem.
Yeah, he was the actual problem. And niggas chipping you was the problem.
Hey, but they control you through that fear, man. Just like, you know, as a little kid, man. Or somebody tell you the boogeyman under the bed, you better stay in the bed for the boogeyman to get you, or a closet, or so on and so forth.
Keep your
Or-
feet tucked in, or they gonna grab you.
Yeah, you better be not. You better be good, you know, because Santa knows if you're naughty or nice, he can see everything. You know, these kids will start doing all this here stuff because their mind is controlled based off of this here fear, man. And this is what Esau does, man. Oh, terrorists, they're flying planes in the buildings or whatever, they're blowing people up and so on and so forth. But every day you see Esau flying his planes over to other countries and blowing the shit out of these countries, destabilizing whole countries, economically destroying whole countries. Look at Cuba, still frozen in time, man. If that's not terrorism, you got whole generations growing up over there where you got the world is thriving, you know, in so-called advancements in life, but they just still frozen over there, man. All right, that's real terrorism, man.
and that's why when you come into this truth, that it's clear and easy to see who the enemy is, who the real demon of the devil of the earth, the real, like the brothers are going into, the real terrorist, because you actually start to see that all these things that this devil has been saying, he's been the one doing them. Like the brother was just saying, you know, like here it is, you got this kid in the class talking about this dude's been bugging the shit out of me, but he's lying about that dude to take the heat off of him, so that people will think, well, that guy's the bully of the class over here. Meanwhile, this guy's going around picking everybody's pockets.
Yeah, fucking,
You know?
giving swirlies and shit.
Yeah. But you say you had precept?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Kind of real quick. I said, it's like in Psalms 55 and 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Yeah, brother brought it out earlier. Come
Oh,
on, spirit.
spirit.
Go ahead.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
His words were so smooth, the words of Esau Edom were so smooth that he has beguiled the people to believe that he's their friend. That he's here, he's on the planet Earth to help everybody on the earth. You know, that's why he set himself up to be the one that has to go into these other nations. Because they're the superpower. We got to help everybody.
Yeah,
At least in the world.
Yeah, they got like the UN. All right, they have a task force, so to say, that after a country gets unstabilized, like after war or something, they go in there and run the country. It's like an internment government. Bro, this is but who runs that? That's Esau that runs it. Ain't got no niggas in the UN going to countries running their country until they get hold of the elections and shit. You know, and so his words are smooth as butter, but what he's in there doing is pushing his democracy. Oh, we gotta establish, like in Iraq, they took down Saddam bin Laden, and then they said, oh, look, we gonna establish an election, y'all gonna vote for somebody, which was all bullshit anyway. You know, and look at them now. One of the worst places in the world.
Real quick, precept, the one earlier, Isaiah 33:1 says, woe to thee that thou spoilest. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
That's what I was thinking to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't word it in my head. Yeah, man.
And dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. And that's that treacherous dealings, man, that Esau Edom do. Like the brother said, he'd go to a natural disaster take place in the country. He'd go there acting like he's willing to help, and what he would do is matter of fact, it could be like a so-called civil war there, which they started. They put people in there to rise up, right? And then they'll be like, oh man, if you can't get that country under control, we're gonna come there and we're gonna get things in order.
Freedom, Operation Freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, they're killing kids and shit.
But that's the exact thing that happened in Venezuela, man. Because they went over there trying to stir up a coup. They had this thing. The school used to be called the School of the Americas, but they trained so-called people to go into these Latin American countries to look like these people and overthrow and destabilize the governments. But that's basically what they did in Venezuela, man. They took some Venezuelan people from Venezuela, all right, and it was training them over there, I believe, in Colombia, where they had everything shut down over there. The little aid trucks that they were sending over there. All right, these people that were set up by America was the ones who set the trucks on fire just so people would have, oh, look what Nicolas Maduro is doing and so on and so forth. We have to go over there. We're just trying to send food to these starving people. Well, why are the people starving, man? Because they can't get none of the money from their oil, which that's their biggest, paycheck for the country. But you got all their money frozen over into these accounts, so they can't feed their people. And then you blaming him as he's starving the people, but then you want to come in as a savior with trucks full of food when it's really trucks full of guns and other soldiers and stuff, and then set one of the trucks on fire, man.
Yep.
and blame it on them, man. So everybody will look at them as the bad guys, man.
And then charge anything that they give you as far as aid. If you allow them in your country, and you allow them to give you aid and all this, they just add you up a tab. All right, we gave you this, we gave you
That's
that.
how you know America's wrong. No?
Yeah, hey, this is the payment for all this medical supplies we gave you. Oh, we don't have enough money to pay that. Okay, cool. Well, let us just get control over your resources and
That should come.
until you're able to pay us back.
That's how you start to see central banks pop up and because Esau's like, okay, well, you don't have the money to pay us for this. Okay, well, look, we're gonna set up this bank, the central bank in your country, and we're gonna that bank will loan you the money out, and then you just pay it back. You just gotta pay it back, interest. You can pay it back like that, make increment payments, but you also gotta pay interest on it.
You also have a different scenario where they do the other resources as well, like in Afghanistan or really Iraq. You see, they had that campaign called Shock and Awe, where every night they were just going over there bombing the entire city, the oil fields, mainly the oil fields, right? So what they do is, and then at that point in time, because you had the Bush regime in there, they had Dick Cheney and them with Halliburton and KBR and Halliburton. These basically they was like construction groups, man. So they went over there and bombed the hell out of Iraq, and then they sent their own companies over there their own contractors to go over there and rebuild all the infrastructure. But then the debt was too high for you to pay it. All right, well, we'll just operate it. So now we got control of the oil over there, man. We're gonna go blow it up just so we can go rebuild it and then have control over it, man.
And they send them in there as private contractors.
Yeah. So technically, the military has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just out there protecting them, though. The military protects them,
Exactly.
but they have nothing to do with them.
I got a quick precept real quick. But this is really for once again, this is really for Israel, right? This is in the law, Deuteronomy 15. It's really for Israel, but what? Esau Edom took on this. He's claiming to be the Israelites, right? So check this out. Deuteronomy 15:1 says, and at the end of every 7 years thou shalt make a release. Right? And when you go into that word release, you go into the new translation, it says at the end of 7 years, that's why you can go into NKJV to see how they translated it. When you go into there, it says at the end of every 7 years you shall cancel debts. And that's why this world is in the position that it is, because the top banking elites, they ain't forgiving people for their debt. That's why this place is the way it is, man, because we got wicked rulers. They holding everybody to a debt. So it says, and this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor. And you go into that word exact, meaning to oppress. Just when he owe you, you don't press him like, look, man, I need this. You don't oppress him, man.
Hey, man, the 7 years is coming up. Need that payment.
It says the house if you don't hurry up to pay.
Exactly.
That's all. Esau, if you die and you owe him money, guess what? Your kids got to pay now.
And that's oppressing, man. That's exact. Thou shalt not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release, man.
And that's why they're going to get judged by these laws. They wanted to put.
They took upon it.
Yeah, they took upon the laws of the scriptures, but they didn't want to. Then they don't want to follow them. And you stupid ass Americans, man. You people really are just the biggest idiots on the planet Earth. You trust the worst government in the entire Earth. This government has nothing. Nothing is set up for your benefit. It's only for the benefit of the government, man. The leaders, the elite. Okay.
The only thing people were benefiting was the Banner Circus, and that's all gone. The mirth, the wine, the singing, and the gladness, that's all gone. So there's nothing left for hope.
And what these people see as a benefit, really, is just Esau using that to distract the people, to keep them happy. That's like giving a dog a ball in the backyard. The dog can only go as far as those walls of the fence go, man. That dog really ain't able to do what he wants to do, but he's entertained by the ball, and he forgets about the fence.
Let me finish this real quick. Verse 3. Now listen to this. This is the catch. It says, "Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is in with thy brother, thy hand shall release." Now, according to Esau Edom, we all brothers in Christ, right? We Christianity, we all brothers in Christ. So it says, "Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again," but under the doctrine of Esau Edom, we all brothers in Christ, as long as we believe in Jesus. You know what I mean? According to Esau, it says, verse 4 says, "Say, when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. It says, only if thou carefully hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God to observe and do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For the Lord thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow, and thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. Verse 7, this I'm gonna close out with this one. It says, matter of fact, it says, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thy hand from thy poor brother. Right?
Esau, go ask Esau for a loan.
Exactly.
You don't qualify. Think I need $100.
I'm broke.
I'm sorry, you don't qualify. Your credit score's not good enough for $100.
Hey, but on the flip side though, that because you're talking about Jake's going to Esau for that, man. But when Esau go to Esau for that, look at Donald Trump, how many times he filed for bankruptcy, man. This is what they actually do, man. When they get into they'll create a business and start thriving with this business. But once they start taking losses, quickly pull the plug. Let's claim bankruptcy because it don't really hit them on that. They'll take whatever. We're not gonna lose $100. We'll pull the whole plug in this all and go create a whole other name and operate the business under another name.
And that's a higher Edomites, because the typical there's Edomites that we can get more money than they can. And that's how you know, because really that's what the excuses the bankers use. Well, see, it says that we can use, because they call everybody else William. So they say, well, the scriptures say that we can take the money from them. But he does it to his own people anyway.
He does his own, which he's not supposed to do. He's
Exactly.
not supposed to do it to the Israelites.
Yeah.
And you say you call
You
yourself
say,
an Israelite.
exactly.
Yeah.
You just the shit. This man's a hypocrite on every side, man.
Now you look at how brothers deal. It's all according to the scriptures. But you look at Jake in the world, regular Jake. He won't even lend to his brother. He'll come with every excuse in the world too. Brother.
Or he'll fucking kill you if you don't pay him back.
$20.
Yeah, bro. You die for that. Yeah. You die for that. Go ahead.
I'm just read the last two verses here. It says, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, in that which he wanteth. This is the point. Verse 9, this is Esau Edom, man. It says, beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release is at hand, and thy eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee. So, that 7 year come by, and you like, man, no, man, I'm holding this debt. You know what I mean? Like, bro, Esau Edom, bro, he's just oppressed, bro. He's so wicked, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I can make a point quick. The reason why going to the book of law, the Lord can say these things about how you're supposed to deal with your riches is because it belongs unto him. The earth and the fatness thereof belongs unto the Lord. So he has these laws to tell you how to deal with the people, especially when you're in authority. Like it says in Wisdom Psalm 6 chapter, sovereignty has been given to you from the highest. There's a certain way you're supposed to deal with your people of the nation, because again, you being set up in authority is not of your own power. So when the Lord says take care of certain things, you're supposed to do that. But Esau, going into, he thinks everything belongs to him. That's why the Lord's going to take away from him, because he's going into earlier the unprofitable ruler.
He's a hypocrite anyways, man. Calls everybody brothers and, puts up this big front. But, he's doing everything contrary to what the Lord asked. Let me get this real quick. 1 John 4 and 20. But man say, I love the Most High, and hateth his brother. He is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High whom he hath seen not? And these guys, they want to push this righteous, visage out for the whole world to see, but they're really just a bunch of snakes and hypocrites.
The scripture said Esau hated his brother.
Exactly.
Going all the way back to Cain.
And that's why the Lord says he hates Esau.
And that's why he don't like us, because we, like you said, we able to identify, this is him. He's Cain, he's Esau, he hates his brother. This is him right here. This is the dude, this is that murderer. We call him out, this is that murderer right here. He's been exposed, bro.
This is Proverbs 22 and 23, and it reads, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. And when you go into that word spoil, all right, it says, and figuratively to deceive, to defraud anyone It says to despoil anyone or anything. And
That's how Esau spoils, by deceiving you.
Yeah.
You know, that's damn near his second blessing shit. Yeah, this is second, you know, like you got a card, you play a card game or something, you got the special powers of the creature. It'd be the sword and the deception for Esau.
Second ability.
Yeah, second ability.
And that's why Job 12 says to deceive, and the deceiver are his, man. The Most High, created Esau, Edom to deceive the whole world. Job 9:24 says the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So the Most High actually gave the world to the wicked so that those that believe in him will be deceived. Because the scriptures say in Proverbs 16, the Lord made all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. So you got to give all praises to Yahweh Shai for creating the wicked, the deceiver and the deceived, man. Because this is their time. This is their time to flourish. And now their time is getting short because they have a vow that they cannot pass.
I'm going to read the spoil part again. Somebody have it. Isaiah 33:1 says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. When thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
And Esau's going to get dealt with in the worst way possible, because of his treachery. You gotta pay for all that stuff, bro. All these wicked laws and everything you put out. The way you just deal specifically with the Lord's people. Put everybody else aside, but look what you did to the actual Lord's people, man. The Lord's gonna deal with you, and it's all prophesied here, so we're not even tripping over it. I'll get this real quick in the book of Psalms. This is Psalm 94:20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Okay, and that's y'all. Y'all put the most mischievous things into law.
Draconian law.
Draconian law, the ones that's what they call it. And it all stems from fear, it's pure deception, and it's all lies. You think that's you think that's the attributes of a righteous ruler that just lies to all his people? Absolutely not. A righteous ruler, hey, he'll put the fear into his people, but he'll still rule them in righteousness. Okay, yeah, at first you fear your king. You're supposed to fear your king. But it's not because he's a damn tyrant and just going around and just killing people and poison in the water, poison in the air you breathe, stealing, rob. No, a real king don't have to do all those things. The people will want to give to the king. That's why you hear them say, long live the king, all that shit. Because really the king, the people are supposed to love their king and love their ruler.
Exactly, yeah. The people that fight under the king, they're supposed to want to put their lives down for the line, for the king. They're supposed to want to die for the king if it comes to it. Just like the king will die for any one of his subjects, the greatest king of kings, man, is Yahweh. You watch these ancient movies of how the kings, and even King David, the king's supposed to be in the front line. He's supposed to be leading the charge.
Yeah, you said it. He's the example. The king's supposed to be on that white horse with leading the charge with the big sword, and then you got all his band of people with him, and they're gonna make sure he ain't gonna get taken out.
Like what happened to King David. Remember, he got wounded out in the battlefield, and he was like, all right, nah, man, we gotta get you out of here.
You gotta save the king, man. You gotta get him out of here.
You have in the movie 300, you have a great comparison to that. With Leonidas taking charge, running into the battle with his men versus Xerxes, who was sitting back and having all these servants and whatever whatnot. They was in subjection and wanted to serve them like that. Whereas you had the Spartans, they was like the one dude had to go back with the message. He was like, nah, hell no, I want to sit here and die right beside you, man. Like, nah, but you got to go and tell the story. But if you had to flip the role with Xerxes. Like, I'll go back and go tell him so and so. But hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
and then I go back. Hey, he wouldn't have came back. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
Anyway, it's like real quick, they were willing to die with King Leonidas. They say when they saw the boats, he said it's gonna be a beautiful death. They already knew what they
gonna die.
Yeah. He's like, shit, I'm following my king, man, to the death if it comes to it. And that's what we doing with your house, man.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
It's a true leader.
Yeah, that's a true leader. But we don't see that with Esau. He's just a he's not a leader. He's just a boss.
Yeah, Esau lead you out there, and then when you looking the other way, he gonna take off. You out there, shit.
Hey, but he the one talking all that shit to all the people outside of the club. He's like, yo, we'll beat your ass, this and that. Then when you go outside the club, you look behind you, what army? You look behind you.
Hey, but you said that as a metaphor, but look what he really does with the military, you know? The presidents don't ever have none of their relatives, their sons, none of that out on the front line fighting for the oil or whatever.
I've never seen a day of war in their life.
Yeah, exactly. You know, not even just the presidents or anything like that, or those people, the government, but their children and none of their children and none of that ever go out to war or fight for none of that stuff. I mean, they might be in the so-called military, have a little office job just for so-called ranking and whatever, whatnot, but they're not actually out there in the battlefields, man. It's actually out there, you know, getting water in their boots and sitting in a goddamn flooded ass Humvee or some shit like that, man. And when you look at the military, but a lot of those people that's over there is Jake over there, man. But what, they go over there and plunder and bomb these nations or whatever, whatnot, man, occupation in Iraq. Who went to war in Iraq and is getting any of the benefits off of that oil over there, man? Like I was mentioning earlier, that was Halliburton and KBR and Dick Cheney and George Bush and their private companies, man. All right, but yet still they had your sons over there fighting for that war, man. All right.
Back in Psalm 94, verse 22 now, I'll read 21 again. They gathered themselves together against the soul. Nope. 20. It's a lot. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They gathered themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemned the innocent blood. You know, souls of the righteous, the innocent blood going into the Israelites. Okay? But it says they gathered themselves together against the souls of the righteous.
Where you at?
This is Psalm 94 and 21, and condemned the innocent blood. So those laws that they conceive by mischief,
Unrighteous decrees.
you know, that's another one. That's another scripture. Those are all just to put the Israelites, the men of the Lord, the children of Israel, in a low, perpetual state of hell. You know, and they need the Israelites to be at a low level. They need control over the Israelites. That's why there's no way that Jake, you know, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, can really raise up in ranks unless he basically bends completely over for these fucking crackers, man. You know, so
and even then, there's a ceiling to it.
Yeah, even then, there's still a ceiling.
He's not gonna let you go past a certain point.
Well, he only let you get there for his own agenda. Like for instance, Colin Powell, right? They
exactly. That's under the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah, it's still under the ceiling.
They had a speech or whatever that needed to be delivered. You know, trying to get the people to go to war with, you know, be down with the war or whatever, whatnot. But I think either Bush tried it first and Donald Rumsfeld tried it, and it was like, no, well, they gave it to Colin Powell. Colin Powell went out there with the little face or whatever, whatnot, and he actually got the people to get behind all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So they use that for a certain agenda, man. They did the same thing with Condoleezza Rice, man.
They just need that. They need those faces in there just to kind of like even things out, so that you know the people don't start getting fishy. Like they don't have no niggas in there.
Get fishy.
You know, like there's not even one nigga in there, so they throw a couple tokens.
Tokens.
Look what they did with Barack Obama. You know, you still have a lot of our people out here. Oh,
Right.
Barack Obama, but like, yo, he did way worse stuff than you. But if it was an Edomite in there, you would have been like, nah, hold up, X, Y, and Z.
This guy is the devil.
Yeah, you know, they gave more, you know, the LGBTQ community more rights than they gave Jake, man. He was looking out more for them than Jake. But what, you got Jake because of the image that they see. You know, oh no, he's a man, blah, 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 or they'll make up excuses.
He's got the smooth words, he's talking all nice and eloquent, you know, and Jake was looking for, he played basketball and all that shit, you know, he's hanging out with Steph Curry. You know. Then that's what Jake wanted. They wanted a president like that. You know, didn't realize they got fucked up for 8 years. They was getting fucked for 8 years.
No Vaseline.
You know, and you look at these hoods are what mega worse than they ever been before. This nigga ain't done nothing for you, Jake, out there.
Detroit with shit.
We worship him.
Yeah.
Say again?
Detroit.
Detroit,
That shit
freaking
in the shit
poison
under
water.
Obama.
Yeah, damn near over a decade, them niggas is drinking piss water, and nobody cares.
We had the depression situation, the recession under Obama, man. I mean, it started with Bush, but then it was under Obama. But again, because of this here image that they have or whatever, whatnot, people, you know, well, our people, you know, when they're looking at these things, you know, they don't relate the two together. They just see this and they think that, oh, okay, it's all good, man. You know, the same way where, hey, when they look at that image of the so-called Jesus picture, man. You know, when they see these Edomites, no, I can't be because I relate this image to that image, man. All right, but these are these things like the scriptures say. Me and the brother both brought this out in the Psalms about his smooth words, all right, and his soft words. And also in a lot of his deceivableness, man. This is what homeboy, I got a precept. You got something?
Yeah, real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
It's Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction."
Let's talk about this place, man. This place is polluted, man. Right? And it'll destroy you, man. First, it's gonna destroy your heart, right? Your mind.
Morals.
All right. You got, and the scripture say, "Give me any plague but the plague of the heart." So you're like, you're gonna be bugged out. First of all, the brother said your morals are gonna be destroyed. Everything about you is gonna be destroyed, and ultimately you're gonna be destroyed with this place.
Believing in lies out here, man. You believe in the so-called American dream, man. All right, but the American dream, these people are all living on so-called borrowed money, credit, and so on and so forth, man. That's not how they really living, man. But I'm gonna bring this out real quick and have 2 Thessalonians 2, read verse 8 and 9, or 9 and 10. It says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." Read verse 11. "For this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie." Now, what were they ultimately believing, man? All right, the God of this earth has got them blinded, man. They're believing on Esau, his deceivable, his lies and everything like that, man. All right, his facade, this fake, this is the Wizard of Oz all over again, man. He's got all these little tricks and intricate devices around to keep you looking at these certain things, man. But then you pretty much get put to sleep with that, like the brothers were going into the bread and circuses, man. All right, so now when people have to stay at home and they don't have all these distractions, they have enough time to actually realize, you know what, I don't really like who I am with my own stuff, because I can't figure out what to do when I can't be out my normal so-called things, or the person that you with. I actually don't like this person. I can't stay in a room or in a house with this person for so long, man. But that's because now that veil is being lifted off their eyes, man. They can't, it's like, maybe a kid going to a theme park and having all kind of fun or whatever, whatnot, to get his mind off maybe his grandma dying or whatever, whatnot. Because all the rides and all the attractions and everything, his mind's not focused on what just happened. My grandma just died or something like that, man. So this is the same thing that's going on here, man. You might be living in a household with a woman that you can't stand, whatever, whatnot, but you get to go to work, get to go to the bar, get to go watch your sports or whatever, whatnot. So that don't really bother you. But now you seeing all these things, man. But you start believing the lies that Esau's putting out here with a lot of these things, man.
Yeah, people are starting to realize they don't like themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
See, people are bugging out because they can't handle being, thinking all day at home.
They hate the way they look. They hate everything about them. They haven't accomplished anything in their life, and now they stuck at home, can't get a job, never got a job. They depressed as fuck.
Can't get a job.
Yeah. If even they wanted to look for a job all day, you're not gonna get one.
Hey, real quick, that's why people go out. That's why they go out and they love to be around each other and laugh and have drinks, because brothers, we like being by. We can be at home and be by ourselves. We have no problem being at home, But these people, they need to be around people. They need to laugh, they need to drink. They need kiki. Why? Because they, like the brother I said, they hate being around them. They hate themselves, man. Why? Because this is what America has taught these people to do. Do as thou wilt. Do what you want to do. And the whole time you leaving from understanding Yahweh Shai, understanding the truth. The truth, man. Which is be yourself, man. Know who you are. The scripture say, love thy own soul, man. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to know who you are so you can know how to conduct yourself and walk in a certain way in this life. But when you out here in the world and want to be amongst people, you in the world, you lost. You putting on that philosophy. You drinking up that cup. So what? Now you're naked. Now people seeing your shame. So now you don't like being by yourself. You can't handle it.
That's why the scriptures, brothers, read is that this place is polluted. It's gonna destroy you, man. Because what? Look, you can't even handle you can't even be handled alone. Yeah. People freak out.
Can't be in a room with yourself for too long.
Yeah. You can't have a cup and drink by yourself and be like, I'm chilling. You gotta have a cup and drink with people and laugh and talk about bullshit.
Their mind starts playing tricks on them, man. They become, And so imagine what in these last days when they're seeing all this chaos on the streets, You're gonna wish you was alone then.
That's right.
We were social distancing, the brothers were before that shit was a decree.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't be around these fucking people, man.
Real quick, because that's why right there, because why we faced the biggest enemy before it was time, which was ourselves.
Before he showed his horns, kind of.
The biggest enemy is yourself, man.
Would you read Arise Ye and Depart?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the point. We got up before all this happened. You know, going right back into what you were saying. We were practicing the social distancing beforehand. You know what I'm saying, and leaving out of this here world, separating ourselves from the world, man. So when these things came to pass, man, we're not destroyed by no more sports on TV, no more going out to the bar every night, no more going to the nightclub and seeing women twerking and all that type of shit. We're not bothered by all that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and being Jake, we've always lost jobs and been without whatever, whatnot. And we got faith, so we know we're gonna get through it, regardless, But people who always depending on this here society or whatever, whatnot, or certain things like that to be their crutch. There's a scripture say, what is it? In Isaiah, it's like, woe to you that go down to Egypt, put your stay on to Egypt and stuff like that. They depend on a lot of these things. So again, it's like mommy or daddy will take care of it. As long as they can go run to mommy or daddy, they'll always be able to take care of them. But they've never actually so-called lived on their own. And so-called living on their own is coming out of this here world, man. Because the government will take care of this, or if I don't get a job or whatever, I can just sign up for this and they'll pay for this or whatever, whatnot, man. They have all these different things that can so-called take care of them, man. Even some of these women can go out and find these men to take care of them. But in a time like this, now they be like, oh shit, now I actually got to work to go get some money. I can't just call this dude up to give me some money or whatever, whatnot. Hey man, this place is destroying all these people right now. That they have to wake up now and smell the real coffee and live in reality, man. This is the movie The Matrix. They now seeing the real world behind, like in the movie The Matrix. You go to sleep into the world, you see all the beautiful stuff, but then now all these people just immediately got unplugged and waking up. They all like Neo was throwing up right now because they can't stand it.
And this Romans 7:23, it says, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? And that's really what a lot of people, at home right now, they can't deal with themselves, man.
Their flesh is more powerful than the spirit.
Exactly, because they ain't been in the gym, bro. We've been working out, man, this whole time, man. Literally, condemning this flesh, man. Of course, through the spirit power, Yahweh Shai, that's the only way we're able, because we got the spirit. But the point is, now everybody at home, and they have to deal with themselves. And remember, the scriptures speak about raise up a child so you can leave one like yourself. So those badass kids they used to be able to send to school, y'all go to school and get out of my face, But now they have to deal with them demons
in the house,
man.
And then you gotta look at yourself too, because you can't go out either. You can't go to work and forget your problem. You can't go to the store, all that shit. Everything closed up. You're that depression's starting to kick in, especially and you ain't got especially specifically
because they like to get dolled up and leave the house, look good. They can't do that anymore.
And they can't, and even if they want to go somewhere, hey, you don't have no money because you got no job. You can't buy no blunt. You can't buy no fucking dime sack, all that shit, man. You gotta take that depression in stride, man. You gotta every bit of it. You got to deal with every single bit of that depression.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the brother's doing good.
Right. We can deal with ourselves, bro. We can deal with ourselves.
It's also the spirit of the Lord. It ain't nothing that we train. The Lord is dealing with brothers in a different manner than He's dealing with the rest of the world. So that's why we can sit here and laugh and be alone and be amongst each other, and it's all fine. But you wasn't doing nothing for the Lord, so now the Lord is putting you in a ugly situation where you start to question your own existence. It's too late for that shit, man. Go ahead, bro.
I got some. 2 Timothy 2:21. The point is 22. 2 Timothy 2:21. If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace, with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. And that's what we did. Brothers flee that youthful lust, man. And now what? We're partaking of the word of Yahweh Shai. Scripture say, be doers of the word and not hearers only, man. See, everybody can read, but not everybody can apply the scriptures. And that's something that separates us from the average people out here in the world. We actually can apply the scriptures and conduct ourselves as the scriptures tell us to do, man. You see, so that's why, like the brother said, we've been in the gym. Well, what? We've been working out and rehearsing the righteous acts, man. Applying the scriptures. The scripture says throughout the 2nd chapter, look into the generations of old and see whoever did trust in the Father was confounded, man. Not one. So we put our trust in Yahweh Hashem Shai. What? Now we built up in the faith and we can conduct ourselves in a certain way. Now what? We are the leaders of our nation of people, man.
That's right.
The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's what's going to make them come up and ask us questions, okay? And we're going to have the answers through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai, because the whole time we've been what? We fled that lust. We fled the world. Like the brother read in Micah 2:10, we arise and departed from this place, man, spiritually. Okay, we departed from this, man. Come ye my people, and be not partakers of our sins, man. So we are able to conduct ourselves in a way that what? We understand how Hashem Shai is working. You know, so we don't need to depend on Esau Edom and his government, his stimulus check, you know, his 401k. Look, man, we got the spirit, bro. We got the name of Yahweh Hashem Shai, which is a strong tower. That's all that matters. That's what's going to lead us to
And
salvation.
that's why we stable right now. Isaiah 33:6,
Right.
wisdom and knowledge shall be a stability. That's why we're stable in this moment in time.
Right.
I mean, we've come to terms with the bad things we've done in life, and we understand that the Lord is still merciful and He's still going to deal with us, and we have faith that we're going to survive through whatever the Lord has, you know, put in front of us.
And we have a clean conscience. These people's conscience is dirty.
They know it,
They're
yeah.
just gonna eat them alive. When there's nothing else to do, and then just imagine the power went out, bro. These people would lose their fucking minds.
The internet go out for a day.
Well, me and brother were just talking about it, man. You know, about so-called phase 2, man. And because there's articles now about these governments now in certain states extending these lockdowns, man. And the people are protesting and rioting already over that, man. Nah, we gotta get back to some normal, man. They can't take another day at home with their wife, looking at themselves, their kids. They can't take another day of not getting no income, no money coming in, man. They can't take another day of that, man.
So
So
stuck with their demons, man. You gotta have to dwell with them demons,
You
and they're
gotta
gonna,
deal with them.
they're gonna fucking eat you alive, dog. Let me read this real quick. About the show. This is in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 70. Starts at 74. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, let not your iniquities lift up themselves." All right, and that's what brothers, you know, we have to keep that in our mind too, because we could get put in the same mind frame as these bug outs out here in the world. But the scripture says that, you know, don't let your sins weigh you down. All right, so yeah, we know we've done, you know, we need the most perfect people on the earth, you know, in the flesh, you know, but what, we've shed off the ways of the world. We were reborn into this, into righteousness, all right, while still in the same flesh, all right, and we are doing everything in our power, our immediate power, to serve and please the Lord. So we're not bound by the same, you know, demons as these people in the world are. They can't even look themselves in the mirror because they don't like what they see. They know that they're bad. They know that everything that their nephew was telling them about the truth was true. But you was now it's coming to pass. But you was too stubborn and still caught in your ways to heed to it. Now that the prophets are actually coming to pass and are affecting you, because it wasn't affecting you before. Oh, what was going on in Iraq? That shit wasn't affecting you. But now shit's happening over here. Now you're scared. All right, and that you don't have no defense. As scripture says in Sirach, you know, you're not going to be defended in those days because you wasn't doing anything for the Lord. Why would the Lord have your back if you weren't doing nothing for the Lord in righteousness? So you're fucked, you know. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, all the men you see out there pushing this work, you know, on making these videos, it'd be long ass videos and it'd be like maybe 50 views. But guess what? The Lord sees all that. You know, and the Lord He's gonna save those men. They gave up their lives now when they had liberty to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do in the world. Those men gave up their lives while you couldn't let it go. You couldn't let it go, so now you have to fall with it. You gotta fall with the system.
Now, like your brothers have been talking about, you know, all that's been taken away from them, all the things that they could do to distract themselves, and now they're seeing how vain their lives are. That's why they're bugging out, because they see, damn, without any of these things, what the fuck is it really that I do?
Who am I?
Worthless.
Yeah, who am I without twerking the strip club and, you know, the bar and going to the barber shop and getting fresh? Who am I? Let me read real quick. Isaiah 66:4 says, "I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I call, None did answer, and when I spake, they did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and chose that which I delighted not.
Read that again, bro.
Isaiah 66:4 says, I also will choose their delusions.
Yeah, he's always gonna choose the delusions, man. So whether it be depression or just demons, just plagued with demons, telling you to do stuff that just out of your nature, out of your character, you know, or whatever the case may be. Read on.
It says, I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear.
Yeah, the Lord's gonna bring their fears upon them, man. You know, fears of being alone. Guess what? You're gonna be dead by yourself. Mm-hmm. Ain't gonna be nobody around. There's also scripture in that same chapter I read saying that you're gonna wish you heard, you know, the voice of another. You know, these cities and streets are gonna be desolate. You're only punk ass might be the only one out here. Because your family, you know, went to another city or state, you know, before the shit got locked down, and now it's just you out here, and ain't nobody you know out here. You maybe traveled somewhere, and now you stuck in that motherfucker, dog. You know, you're gonna be, you know, the Lord's gonna put you in the position that you wanted, you least wanted. All right, you know, for lack of a better word,
that they try to avoid.
Yeah, all your life you surround yourself with people. Because you like being, different pleasures, you know, you wanted people to tell you, oh, you did good, oh, you look good, you smell good, oh, I like your car, or I like this about you, I like that. So you surround yourself with people, yes men and all that shit.
Coming to the light.
You know?
So their deeds can be.
They thought that was the light. They thought it was in the light, but this is just a bunch of bullshit. But now they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, damn.
Because it's, like you just said the light, there's a scripture that says they put light for darkness and darkness for light.
Yes. Yeah, and they did that, and it's too late to repent. And it's going to be a point where it's going to be way too late to repent, and they're going to know that they fucked it all up. They believed in God. They believed in God in a certain, you know, to a certain extent. But now that it's all coming to pass, it's like I think that everything I was told about God and the Israelites was right, but it's too late for it now. Now look, the world's ending.
Hey, that's why the scripture say they shall be in pitiful case. They have abused my ways. Yeah, you're going to be in pitiful case because what? You abuse mercy, man. Grace. This is a time for grace, and what? You're taking that as a weakness. So Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring that great death, all right, that you're going to know after death by pain upon you, man. Because the whole time when you was out there, you thought it was just a joke. So the Heavenly Father is going to choose your delusion. He's going to choose your fear.
Right? He's going to use because the script, I forget exactly how it's worded, but it says that with that same evil he shall torment them or something like that, with the same evil. Basically, like for example, Esau, he was the sword of the earth, so the Lord's going to bring the sword upon him. Okay, which is Yahushua. But the same thing with these people, the things that they decided to choose over the Lord is going to use those same things to bring about their delusions. Okay, so you didn't want to leave, you didn't want to come and serve me because you wanted to still be able to go out to the clubs, you still wanted to edge up, you still wanted to fuck with bitches and all this. So now the Lord is going to bug you out with those things. He's going to have these women driving you crazy. Now all these things, we already see all these things as these people used as distractions from the world. Now he's taking that from them, so now people are having to deal with reality and what this place really is. Okay? So all these things are being done to bring about the downfall of these people, you know, like the brothers. But the men of the Lord, like the brothers were also saying, we've already been prepared for this through the Spirit of the Heavenly Father because He brought us up out of the world. Okay, we put that old man off. Everybody is that spirit that the people are in. We killed that man. Okay, spiritually, we killed the old man of that old person that we were, and the Lord started purging us. Okay, He started purging us and removing those impurities, those unclean things, so that when it came time to judgment, there was no guile found in us. Okay,
nailed that shit to the cross, man. You know? And now brothers are completely different men than they were before coming into this truth. It's almost like you're a completely different person. Sometimes your family will look at you and be like, you know what, you know, you changed a lot. Your old friends will be like, you changed a lot, bro. You know.
And scripture say we had to be born again.
You have to be. It's the only way.
I got something.
Yeah.
You brothers can speak on this too. It's about 2-3 verses. 2 Ezra 14, and I'm starting verse 13. It says, "Now therefore, set thine house in order, and reprove thy people."
And where are this housing for the Lord? Okay, we've gotten that this you know, our minds. Okay, which is representative of the house, you know, the temple of the Lord. You know, we are the Lord's temple. we've gotten ourselves in order first. Starting with ourselves. Okay, go ahead.
Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people.
Yeah, reprove thy people, man. That's what the Lord is doing. Okay, the Lord is reproving His people. He's setting the house of Dawadah in order, man.
That's right, brother.
Okay, all the way down to ourselves. We have to get ourselves in order. We have to get our houses in order, man. This is what the men of the Lord is going to is separating the men of the Lord from everybody else. The men of the Lord are already preparing our houses, man. Like during the time of the Passover, the people who knew that Passover, that spirit was going to come down that night, they was getting themselves ready, man, for that day. Okay, for that night. All right. Meanwhile, everybody else was bullshit until it came time for Yahushua to come down and start taking souls, man. Which is going to happen again in these last days.
That's right. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
You see, and this is what we're trying to tell you, 2/3, man. Which we ain't worried about. We ain't worried about the 2/3, but you still have to hear this word. We're trying to tell you about the comfort, man. All right, which is this salvation. Okay, Yahushua coming with deliverance. This is the comfort wherewith we're trying to tell you people, but you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear about the comforts. So if you don't want to hear about this comfort, then the hell with you, man. The Most High is gonna bring upon you great miseries, man. We read it. The brother started off with that 2nd Ezra 8:50, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was the first piece he brought out. Okay. Go ahead, out.
If I can make a point real quick, what it is our people is hooked on the bad shepherd. According to the curses, we have to go to our enemies for one of all things, but the point is it's a curse. And our people have grown to love this devil because he's feeding them and feeding them to their flesh. Right. They feed them, this devil feeds them enough so that they don't revolt. You have a full stomach, you're not trying to fight, you're not trying to revolt, you're trying to chill. And that's the mode that Esau has put over our people, is that they just stand still. That's why they're just going to be stuck here for the slaughter, because they don't know how to react.
It goes back to I was going to say, it goes back to what the brother said about the analogy about the dog in the backyard. Mm-hmm. They're just so cool with just being in the backyard and having a ball, to play, to throw around. They don't realize that what the Lord has in store for you is so much better than that little backyard and that ball, man. You don't want to give up that which is obtainable right now. You can see it. Oh, the shit, the backyard. I'm cool with that.
I got this right here.
Yeah. But if you just shut off that bullshit and be contrary to the world that's given to you, you could get a lot more. If you just believe in you say you believe in God. All these motherfucking people say they believe in God. They all go to church, but when you go and try to break it down to them, 2/3 of our people just don't want to get it.
Yeah, they go right back to the ball.
They go right. Yeah.
Fuck it. I ain't getting out of here, man. Let me at least distract myself with this shit right here. This shit'll take my mind off. I can't go nowhere.
Yeah, we believe we're gonna get out. We know we're gonna get out of here. So it's not that bad for us just to be fucking around with the ball for a while. We're not putting all of our cards in that. We just deal with it, and then we go back to what the Lord has in store for us. All right, we still gotta preach this word, and we still gotta be, it's like the Clark Kent type of thing. You in, you out, you in, you out. But our spirits and our minds, all right, we're in 100%. All right, you can't focus on putting getting your flesh, what is it, mortifying your members. You can't do that. Like, it's just, it's hard for us too, but you can't do it. Like you prove that you can't do it. At least we do our best. And the Lord sees what we do. With you're not even trying. So you're gonna fall just with this place. Go ahead.
And that's why Revelations 22 it says, "He that is filthy, let him be filthy still." 2/3 is filthy. All right, and the number of 2/3 is already set for judgment. So the Heavenly Father already got this number set that He's going to judge 2/3 of our people. So let them remain filthy. Let them wander in there. Let them keep going back to the ball and keep doing what they do, because ultimately the Heavenly Father is getting ready to off them, man. And the mercy of it is going to be they're going to come back on on righteousness through our loins. Those will be those men.
You made a point about Esau just giving them enough to fill them. When their stomachs is full, their belly is full, they're not really in a revolt.
Yeah.
But right now Esau, gonna stop feeding, man. When these famines come and stuff, that's gonna be that cause of you to rouse up, you know.
So, and that's why 2/3 of people, that's when they're gonna start crying out to the Lord, because they're not being fed no more. This devil's gonna cut off their supplies. But yeah, go ahead. You have it.
No, finish what you're saying.
But that was it, because you got a precept.
Yeah, it's 1 John, it's like in St. John 6:48. It says, I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. Alright? This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. And this is the point, verse 51. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. I'm talking the world of Israel. But hey, like the brother said, we ate of that bread that came down from heaven, which was Yahweh Shai, man. 2/3 desire to eat that carnal, that carnal bread, the things of this life. They was full off of the things of this world. Well, this world is running empty. This world is finished, man. This world is getting ready to be shut down.
We're dry.
It's running dry.
Yeah, all the resources are sucked up, man. And you still thinking that the government's going to continue to provide for you and give you all this shit, and it's just gonna get better and better. iPhone 17, 18, it's just gonna keep going up, and get more crazy and spectacular. No, the Lord's about to put a cap on all this here in your lifetime. You're gonna all see it. It's not gonna be something that's 100 years down the road. This is happening right now, unfortunately for you. All right.
Hey, real quick, that's why I was say, ye that are troubled, rest with us, man. We're troubled, man. And the greatest trouble is coming. But see, the opposite of trouble is what? Safety. So
it said, ye that are troubled, come with us that are at rest.
Right, rest with us. Right, but what? The opposite of trouble is safety. So 2/3 are safety, what? By that 401k. They're safety by what? The stimulus, so-called stimulus check. See, they're not worrying about. They're not like the brothers going into. They're not dependent on Yahweh outside. So that's why when the Most High bring His famine, not only the famine of the word, when He bring His famine, 2/3 is gonna come running to the Most High. But the Most High is getting ready to hide Himself, man. And it's, Isaiah says, "Surely Thou art a God that hidest Thyself." And Jacob's getting ready to see how Most High hide Himself when He removed the prophets, His mouthpiece, off the four corners of the corners, man.
Okay, so real quick, some jakes, they still not gonna call on the Lord in famine. They just gonna go wait in lines in hopes of some fucking powdered milk. A lot of those guys are still gonna go down to Egypt for help, man, and just die.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that shows you the mentality of the Lord's people going into ancient Egypt. The separation. There was those that had faith in the Lord that's going to provide, and then had people that want to go back. It's the same mentality going on today.
There's nothing new under the sun. That thing which was is the thing that shall be. So just that same remnant of jakes that bugged out and turned their back on Yahweh Shai, that generation is here today. That's why Yahweh Shai said, "Ye are those that killed the prophets, man." Okay, and this is a generation, man. Okay, the generation of vipers. Okay, guess what? These are the 2/3, man. Okay, that come up, walk on, blow the smoke in your face while you're teaching. Walk past you, spit on the sun, walk on the sun, walk in front of the camera. Talk shit, comment on the comment. These are
with a gun.
Yeah, on a knife. He got a knife. These are the same 2/3 that came up against Yahushua and the ancient prophets, because we're here today in the same stand of Yahushua, man. So this is their time of judgment, man. In our time of our salvation, Lord's will.
And there's like a lot, right now the earth is the most populous as it's ever been. So the Lord make sure He has a lot of motherfuckers out here to get their judgment. There's a lot of Jake out here. A lot of motherfucking Jake, bro. And you can't count them all. And you think all these motherfuckers are gonna go into the kingdom of heaven scot free? No. 2/3 gotta get their judgment. The Lord has their souls back on this earth for a reason. And it's to get judgment in these days. It's very important to get judged in these days. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, 2 Ezra 14:14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Yeah.
Cast away the burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. And haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than these which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
You see that? So it's gonna get a lot worse than what you think is bad right now. the Lord is going to make it a lot worse. Oh, it can't get any more worse than this. Well, guess what? The scripture just said it's going to get a lot worse than this. You can't be, you can't have that weak nature, that woe is me spirit. Hey, Ezra, when he had the vision, he was like, woe is me, who could deliver me in those days? Well, guess what? We're in those days now. So if you still got that woe is me spirit, then you don't have no faith in the Lord. Yeah, it's just clear what it is. It's gonna get a lot worse than some fake ass pandemic shit, some bullshit lies that they're putting out there. It's gonna get to a point where you're gonna see the shit right in front of your eyes, and even then you're gonna be like, it can't get worse than this, and it does get worse. You gotta prepare yourself mentally, spiritually for these things. You know, you can't be weak going into the battle. You can't be second guessing your skills. Your battle skills going into the battle. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing that separates us between us and them is faith, man. All right, and the beautiful part about a lot of this is that knowing these scriptures is what's to come and what's the outcome. All right, so for instance, we knew about the Matthew 24 wars, rumors of wars, plagues and pestilence, right? So, but we've been on the highways and the byways preaching and prophesying about these things, right? But then once we start seeing this destruction coming to pass. Then we know, okay, so now this is increasing my faith because now the Lord told us about these things and now it's actually coming to pass. However, there's a flip side to that. There's also, like, you can read, Job 5 and 18, where it says, and famine and all these things, you're going to laugh at it. You're going to be protected from these things. So if the Lord say, I'm going to bring famine, all right, and he actually bring the famine and you've been prophesying and preaching about it, then it's going to also increase. All right, well, we good. The Lord said that these things will come take care of the 2/3 or whatever, whatnot. He didn't brought it down, so this is what's gonna happen for us, man. Lord willing, we be a part of that number, man. So this is what's increasing our faith, man. Where all these other people are bugging out because they didn't even seek the Lord, man. That's why you're supposed to seek the Lord early. He gave you the whole game plan, like, yeah, I'm about to make it rain. I'm about to bring a big ass hurricane, but you see the hurricane coming, and like, oh shit, the Lord said that, not a hurricane. Well, he also gave you directions to the hurricane shelter with all the food and everything, man. Oh shit, the hurricane coming. Cool. Well, if that came to pass, then we know we can follow this here map to go to this here shelter and get all the food. We're gonna be good. So this is what keep us, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time, man. This is what's keeping us, how do I say, afloat in these times and not bugging out with all these other people. They're uncertain. They're just now trying to figure things out. They don't know what's going on, man. This is catching them like a thief in the night, man. All right.
And it really does put a smile on your face when we see this stuff happening. It should put a smile on your face, like, man. Like, it's looking bad, it's getting bad, but at the same time, you smile at the same time, because as the brother said, it's coming to pass.
You know what's coming.
It's happening.
And those 5G towers that the brothers keep seeing, I mean, hey, we all know that 5G is about to kill everybody. Like, oh, call all y'all about you guys, how they push this shit right around the corner, man.
But the scriptures say that we're gonna be all right, so that's why the scripture also says that you quoted it. We're gonna laugh at that shit and we are laughing at it. So those scriptures are actually coming to pass right now. We're laughing at all this shit. All these people in their calamities, they're getting fucked up out there, man. That shit is funny as fuck to us, though. They be sending us, brothers be sending the links. This happened over here. Look at this motherfucker bugging out over. Dog, we're not acting like that. Why y'all acting so fucking bugged out for? How can y'all be so weak, man? Y'all have no faith.
I thought you believed in God.
Yeah, I think y'all believe in God. Y'all tripping like that. Y'all making a fool of yourself. Look, motherfuckers taking and putting on war stuff. And millions of people looking at you. I'm one of them looking at you laughing. So that's, we are laughing at that. I need to hear something.
Just going back to the beginning of that precept that Quan was reading, because the reason why the men of the Lord are going to be feeling that way and having that spirit on them is because those are the men that are at rest. Okay, they're at rest because they're not troubled and they have trust in the Heavenly Father. They fear Yahweh Shemel Shai, and they know the men of the Lord are going to know that the Lord has our backs because of the things that we, like the brothers were quoting. We know that the elect chosen men that Yahweh Shemel Shai has set up, we're going to be good. The Lord is going to have our back. This is why we're at rest. The rest of Israel and these non-believers, Israel amongst the nations, they're going to be troubled because they don't trust the Lord and they don't understand what's going on. Like the brothers have been going into the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The men of the Lord, we're at rest. Like the scriptures say, this truth shall set you free. We're free, man. We're cooling, man. Even though we're gonna have to endure these things, but first and foremost, we know that the Heavenly Father has our back if we believe that He does. Okay.
And we're those men that are hasten for the day. Well, we're looking for a new heavens and new earth where indwells righteousness. So we know all these things got to happen. This place got to be destroyed. All right, the people's gonna starve to death. All the prophecies that we've been telling you about, we know it's got to come. So what? The ultimately, the kingdom of heaven can be established. So that's why we're not freaking out. All right, beating our wives. All right, beating the kids up. They don't know what's going on, man. We know what's about to go down. We know that this is a necessity. All right, for the kingdom of heaven to be established.
I got something real quick just to back you brothers up. Isaiah 65, I'm going to read verse 12 and 13. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that where I delighted not. All right, so this is the 2/3. You know, they didn't want to hear this calling, but what? We were seeking the Lord early, right? Verse 13 says, therefore thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So like, you know, I was speaking on earlier, you know, when we see some of these things like the 5G towers, you know, we know this is so-called bad times and bad things coming, but what? The Lord, you know, like here it says, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry, right? So in this scenario, there's a shortage of food coming. Well, we're going to be hearing shortage of food, but guess what? We're going to eat. Lord won't be a part of them. We're going to eat, but they're going to be starving, man. And as we see in these times right now, man, with a lot of these people not working, man, and we thriving right now, man. The brothers is good right now, you know? But nevertheless, you have the rest of these people out here that's out here losing their wits. You know, they're out here, how do I say, you know, they're bugging out, man, because they don't see where their next meal is coming from. All right, they don't have anybody to, you know, if something falling on hard times, they don't have no real friends, no real, you know, so-called brothers out there. If they falling on hard times, like, well, shit, I ain't got it either, man. Knowing good and well, they over here stacked up eating some food or whatever, whatnot. You know, you have people. I had one of my cousins. My mom told me one of my cousins had put online a full pantry full of food and everything like that, showing off how much food they had throughout this situation. But let one of her so-called friends say, "Hey, we starving over here. We hungry." You think she would go over there and give them some actual food, man?
Shit, well, they gonna know exactly where to go.
Yeah,
Times of trouble.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, what was that precept where we're talking about the neighbors gonna fight each other for a lack of bread? And that's one of the main culprits of that, because you have a lot of these people that's posting stuff up like that on the internet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, trying to show off or whatever, whatnot. But like the brother said, they already know where you at and what you got, because you the one showing off with it, man. All right.
I got a couple here. So book of Matthew, St. Matthew, chapter 11, verse 17. Or I'll start at 16. This is Yahushua speaking. But whereunto you shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
And that's what we've been doing, man. Read that again, Bubba Sean. We piped them.
Con, verse 17. This is Matthew chapter 11, verse 17. After that 16 again. But whereunto shall I liken this generation?
This is the same generation here today.
Right.
It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced.
That's what we've been doing. We've been piping, singing that new song, which of course we understand only the 144,000 are going to understand it. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick, and that's what we were just backing up what we were just reading. When I called, you did not answer.
Right.
We're in the highways and the byways, we piping unto you, man. We singing that song, man. But you want to hear a whole different tune, man.
Because ultimately the Lord, when he calls you, he's going to use his men to call you. All right? The Lord ain't coming to you personally like he did with Samuel. All right? You're going to hear him calling you in the, I believe it was Samuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning.
And so, the Lord going to use his men to pipe unto you on the highways and byways, man. Right? Or, hey, the internet. The internet's the highway too. Information highway, right?
Yes, it is. It says, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
We've been telling you, all right? We've been telling you to put on the sackcloth, but what, you just wanted to continue in the mirth. Go ahead.
That was it on that. I wanted to get this too, going to what the brother was saying earlier. This is Luke chapter 12,
So
verse...
it's like, real quick, that's why they're mourning now. Because they wanted to rejoice while we was lamenting and mourning. And we were trying to get you to hop on board. Well, then guess what? Now you're going to be mourning to the kingdom of heaven. All right, while we rejoice at the downfall of this place.
Matter of fact, finish reading that. when you were reading this a minute ago.
Isaiah 60, you want me to read it?
Read it again.
All right, Connor. Isaiah 65, I'm going to start back at verse 12 through 14. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not.
And you did everything the Lord asked you not to do. You did the opposite of it. Go ahead, read on though.
Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
Yeah, you're gonna be in pain. You're gonna be wishing that you follow the men of the Lord, that you hearken onto the words that these men were saying. You're gonna wish. You're gonna be asking for a time machine to go back to when you found the truth and you shunned it off. You know, but it's unfortunately for you, it's not gonna work out that way. It says you're gonna starve while these men are gonna be eating. You're gonna be thirsty as fuck while these men are gonna have all types of wine, water, anything that you want, everything that you're picturing in your head, we're gonna have it.
The three W's:
Yeah.
wine, women, and water.
Yeah, it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be a shortage. You know, it's gonna be a shortage, but we're gonna have it all. Right. You know, I'm being facetious. You know, Lord willing, the Lord has that favor on us, but we have faith that He will. All right, and that's why we continue to do what we do. So since you read that, let me just read this real quick.
And make a quick point. Going into that precept, you know, when you hear a precept like that, you should be like, damn, how do I become a Lord's servant? You know, that goes
What's
with
the offense I'm on?
yeah, like, you know, inquire how the godly shall be saved.
What I need to do?
Yeah,
what do I gotta do? Yeah, what I need to do,
And the Lord
bro.
gonna tell you, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. You know, this is the Lord's yoke right here. And the fruit of that is we're gonna the Lord's will receive salvation.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. You know, you should be asking yourself, what side am I on? When am I doing the right thing? What do I gotta do to cement myself on the right side of this thing? You know, that's what all of us have asked that, and no one gave us a straight answer. We just kept on the path, and we found the answer without anybody actually giving it to us. All right, this is clear. The path that you should be on is prophesying. The Lord wants us to prophesy. Since you read that, though, let me read this in Luke chapter 12, verse 24. Yahushua says, "Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and the Most High feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls?" So the Lord feeds these fowls. He feed all these creatures on the earth. They ain't none of them got storehouses, got Walmarts and Publixes and all. They ain't farming and doing all that shit. That you know, agriculture. They're just dumb animals. They just go by instinct. But the Lord feeds them some way, somehow. They can feed themselves. They don't see no birds starving to death out here. You don't see birds starving to death. All right, they eat any fucking little thing off the ground. The Lord gives them food. So if the Lord is doing that with them, then we know, because we're the ones with the faith. We know that the Lord is going to have our back when there's so-called no food out here. Some way, somehow, the Lord is gonna provide for His men. All right. So that's why it says, you're gonna be. They're gonna eat, but you're gonna be thirsty. They're gonna drink. You know how it goes. You're gonna be hungry. All right. They're gonna be laughing and joking. You're gonna be crying like a bitch. Roughly paraphrasing. The brother just read it. Okay. It says that because talking about the times that we're about to enter into, the Lord's going to provide food, shelter, raiment, and whatever other necessities a man might need, medicines. For the men of the Lord, it's going to be provided for him without him having to do anything. Because he already did what he was supposed to do. He was out there, he gave his body up as a living sacrifice. And it was found holy and acceptable unto the Lord. So the Lord is going to make sure that this man is going to be all right when the day of trouble does come. Go ahead, brothers.
I got something real quick. Psalms 33 and 17. The point is on verse 19. Psalms 33 and 17. "And horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his strength. Behold, the eye of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death, and to keep them alive in famine."
Yeah, keep us alive in family, bro. You know that, and I like that part. What did it say? You said that the power of horses is vain.
I read again. Psalms 33 and 17. "And the horse is a vain thing for safety.
And that goes to anything that you have out here that's in the flesh, man. Whether it be your rifle, whether it be your car, you know, your job. You know, that shit's vain, bro. The Lord take that shit away from you early. You know, you wake up the next morning, you got the text, and your whole life is turned upside down.
And that just happened. A lot of people just woke up saying, "Hey, you can't come back to work."
Yeah,
You know, and you laid off. Yeah, you laid off. You know, I was about to retire in 2 more months. I was about to retire next year. Hey, man, nah, you gotta go.
You gotta go, bro. Sorry, you know.
And they think they gonna get access to their social security and their 401k. All that shit's gonna get wiped.
That shit doesn't even exist anymore.
It was all wiped out, bro.
That's they gotta keep going into the
And
system.
when the reality kicks in, so they realize like, yo, all that shit has been just wiped out. That's when these people really gonna, these people really gonna snap.
They're gonna need something. They don't need to get back to where, at least to the status they were before the shit hit the fan.
Done.
And they're gonna take that
Yeah,
trip.
take the check.
Yeah.
That's easy right there.
And horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength.
Yeah, horse, you can't even rely on the horse, bro. It's the spirit of the Lord, man. It's only the spirit of the Lord. It's not anything on this earth that is delivering you out of situations. The Lord puts those things on your path for your deliverance or for your demise, your condemnation. Read on though.
Behold, the eye of Yahweh Bashmi Shai is upon them that fear him.
Come on, go ahead.
Upon them that hope in his mercy,
Come on.
to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine.
That's why you see those chariots flying around now. The eyes of the Lord are out there. They're watching everything that's going on down here. They're watching the men of the Lord, excuse me. You know, watching them in their walks, their steps. All right, you know, brothers see chariots, so you know, you give praise to the Lord when you see the chariots. You know, also called Allah Yabashim Yashabi. Those chariots, they're watching what's going on down here. All right, and they're watching all. Go ahead.
Yes, a little bit more.
Before you read on, just to make that point, they're watching what we're doing, and they're watching what our enemies are doing as well too. But it says again, read that last verse again.
Verse 19, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine.
Yeah, to keep us alive from famine, to deliver us from death, not to death, but from death. So that's why we're able to walk out here, confidently. You know, knowing that there's dangers around every corner, but we walk confidently, knowing that we have the power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai on our side. The world can't say the same thing that we can say. We don't have to worry about famine and pestilences. We don't even care about that shit. We want to see more of it, you know, because the more we see it, the closer we are to getting the hell out of here. Now, you know,
Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us, according as we have hope in thee. You know, so our soul waiteth upon the Lord. Meaning, you know, we're going to wait upon the Lord, Yahweh Shai, until ultimately the chariots come and get us out of this flesh, man, ultimately, and to deliver us from the ultimate plague that's coming upon the planet Earth, which is by the way of thermonuclear missiles. That's what we're waiting. The scriptures say, here's the patience and the faith of the saints, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
All right, we're going to bind their kings with their nobles with fetters of iron. Okay, what? But that takes patience and waiting, man. You know, and like Brother Ash, always going to. It's not about waiting. It's what you're doing while you wait, man. You know, it ain't just sitting on your ass with your feet kicked up. No, it's applying the scriptures, you know, in the work. The scriptures say in St. Matthew's 24 and 46, blessed is the servant whom when the Lord return, he shall find so doing, man. You know, it's about what you're doing, you know.
Bro. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 1. Start at the top. It says, plead my cause, O Lord Yahweh, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. All right? On our enemies. So we pray, Lord, deal with these our enemies in the most brutal manner. So when we see things like pestilences come out and horrible accidents and, you know, things that the world would think you crazy for praising the Lord for, we praise the Lord, you know, because we ask for this. Take hold of shield and buckler and stand up for my help. Draw out also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me, saying unto my soul, I am thy salvation. So we ask the Lord to do these things for us and to show us that you are here to save us, nobody else but us. All right? The elect, if we be of that number, we hope we are. We want to be saved. Verse 4: Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Who's that talking about? That's talking about these dirty ass rulers of the world. All right, they devise what does it say? Devise my hurt, our hurt. Anything bad that happened, they keep us in a low state, and they work around the clock to make it so. So we ask the Lord to confound those people. We ask the Lord to take those men out of power and put the one profitable in this place. Let them be as chaff before the wind. Let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery. Let the angel of the Lord Yahweh persecute them. For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unaware. So just let it happen to them. All right. So we ask the Lord to just bring it upon them when they least suspect it. It says, let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. So let him fall by his own devices. Let this man fall by all the things that he concocted for our destruction. Let him fall into it.
Hang Esau on the gallows.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah. Just like Khan. You know, that was for us. You know, all the shit that he has planned is for us, but lo and behold, he's gonna get caught up in that.
In his own snare, his own trap.
Yeah. And the Lord is setting it up. He don't believe in the Lord like that, so he think he got everything under control.
And he gonna mess the plans up, so to say, upset prophecy.
And it ain't gonna work though.
He
thinks that, you know, because he hears the words of the Lord, and you know, going in onto the high elects, the elites rather of Esau's kingdom. They know what's about to happen. They see the chariots out there. They have a much deeper understanding of chariots than we do, because they have the high, powerful telescopes. They see what's going on out there. They scared shitless. And they know that that's coming. They see everything lining up to what we're saying, but they still believe in their power, which is Satan. And honestly, they don't understand that Satan still works for the Lord. So they're gonna get taken down. We're still gonna chant down Babylon. Because we see the signs, so we're going to go even harder now and chant down this place even more and more. The only move you're going to have to make is going to be a dirty move. That's the only moves you have left in your arsenal, are dirty moves to get the men of the Lord off the streets.
Hey, he come down with great wrath. You know he had it for a short time.
Mm-hmm. He has to use it now. Now he has to use his trump cards. Now I got to bring out martial law. We were trying to save this, but not. You know, we got to save face. Let's bring this out. Let's get them off the streets. Let's bring the police out there and tell them they got to leave. Or whatever the case may be, use violence if necessary. They gotta stop us. They gotta stop the truth from coming out. But honestly, it's nothing they can really do. It's all dirty tricks up their sleeve right now. So when you start seeing them show those horns, like the brother just quoted, don't be surprised, man. We told you that this was gonna happen. It's like we told you everything else was gonna happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, starting with the elders on down to us. Everything else that we said is also gonna come to pass. Brothers got it.
Real quick, if I might see, to back you up, you know, in Revelations it says, they came and compassed about the camp of the saints, and fire came down and devoured them. So when Esau, you know, rolled down, you know, guess what? We're not worried about what Esau gonna do. We waiting to see what Yahweh Shai gonna do, man. The scripture say fire came down from heaven and devoured them, man. We're waiting to see what the Heavenly Father gonna do. You know, Jacob's bugged out. What we gonna do? Look, man, we waiting to see the heavenly power from on high, spiritually divination, man. Okay, the one who nobody knows that the Heavenly Father exists but the elect. So we waiting on him to magnify himself, so that what he can ultimately glorify us with salvation, man.
Anything Esau does anyways is, you know, we look at it as the Lord making the move. So when we see Esau do something crazy, be like, okay, the Lord just stop this from happening. Okay, the Lord is using Esau for this. That's how we think. You know, we're not giving no glory over to Esau. It's all Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So when we see things happen on the earth, whether it be political or military, or
it's like the family of the word. You know, Esau is the one that's so-called physical form pushing the family of the word. So ultimately, it's going according to what the Most High's plans, man.
That's it.
He's just being used as that tool. All All right, just like how we're being used as that tool to do the Most High's work, gathering the elect, man. But ultimately, what does the Lord say? I will gather my elect, man. All right, but who's out? He has us speaking His words. These aren't even our words, man. He's using us as mouthpieces, man, tools.
That's right. And we're glad that the Lord has chosen us. We're very humbled that the Lord has chosen, little old me and little, us. Because he could have used anybody, but He chose to use the smallest of the nation, and that's what makes the Lord great. Okay, that's how He shows His power. He takes the smallest, kind of the underdog, the most.
He pretty much the people everybody look down on. Yeah. Just like when, everybody saw the crew, your house was rolling over. Well, what's your master over there sitting with publicans and sinners?
Right.
So that's what everybody looks at us as, and that's why the Lord chose us, man. The guys you least expect,
Hey, God, just like King David. That's why the house of David is being raised up, man. Just like King David.
And He said He took me from the sheepcote to ruling over thy people, man. And you think about, that job title as a sheepcoat, like that's like modern day today being a janitor or something, picking up some shit, feeding some animals. Obviously you can go in the farm and stuff and actually working out there, but it's like, yo, man, being working in a factory or something like that. People look at you and your jobs and the stuff that we do, like, oh, you do that for a living? Nah, you should go get a job as a CEO or something. They look at these jobs. They look at those jobs as more established, but but the Lord is taking again, look at it, who's really working right now, man. The men of the Lord is still out there working. These are the so-called essential jobs, man. But all these other people in these high up jobs, they're not working. But like King David said, thou hast taken me from the sheepcote to ruling over thy people, man. And that left David speechless. David was very articulate, man. This is where you get the Psalms and all these things that was written. So he know how to say a lot of things, but he was like, yo, not only did you take me from nothing and maybe into something, you also spoke about my future, man, and how things was gonna go, man. All right. And he had multiple brothers that was over top him, because like when Samuel came over there to him, he's like and when Jesse did, he was like, no, these are my boys right here. He's like, you sure you ain't got another one? But he's tall, he handsome, he good with this, he good with it. No. You sure you ain't got another one? Yeah, but he out there in the field, you don't really want him, man.
That's the one you don't want.
Yeah. You ain't even good enough to be inside the house to this situation, man. But that's how we were, man. That's why people, by the foolishness of preaching, that's why people say, surely y'all niggas can't have the truth, man. Y'all niggas look like bums. Y'all niggas go get a job, man. I remember you from in the world, but no, you expecting the so-called pastor with the bald head, go to, what did he say, studying hermeneutics, I think it is, studying the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got their theologian degrees and stuff like that. They expect the Lord to be dealing with them because they driving the big body Benz and got the huge mega church, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. Private jets and things like that. But yet still, they're not really bringing nobody to real life, man. They put them to sleep, man.
And they said the same thing about Yahushua. They said, how this man know, when he was a little over 12 years old, teaching. He was teaching as one with authority to the doctors, but the real teachers, they were supposed to be the teachers. And he was bugging them out,
Where's he at? Where did he?
Exactly. They said the same thing about the disciples, unlearned men. We didn't go to Bible school. Well, some of us went to, church. A lot of us went to church, but we brothers wasn't into the scriptures like that. Some brothers around, that's in the truth were into the scriptures, but the majority of us, man, we knew we were Catholics or Christians or Protestant, whatever, but for the most part, man, we're unlearned men as people who call us, man. You had something up?
Yeah, I got something. This is Isaiah chapter 5, and I read 24, 25, so bear with me. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 24. Therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff.
Hey, real quick, that's why it's so hard for people to grab this concept that we're telling you, because they've been going to church their whole life, and nobody ever told them about new fire rain coming down from the sky, people going to slavery. But since unlearned men are telling you this, and we'll show you in the scriptures is, they can't believe it, man.
Can't believe it, bro. They should have been told us about this.
Yeah.
If this was true,
niggas in space gotta tell you that.
If this was true, they would have told us about this when I was a kid. I ain't never heard this doctrine before.
We didn't read that in Bible, kids.
This is that new song.
That new song,
everybody. That's when remember we read about we're piping unto them and lamenting. This is part of the lamenting, but you didn't want to mourn. So hey, you're gonna actually mourn when that happens, man. All right, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 24. Therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their bosom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Verse 25 is the point I want to get. Therefore is the anger of the Lord kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them.
Yeah, ultimately, the anger of the Lord is towards his people because he told you not to do this, not to do that. So ultimately, that's why it's called time to take his trouble. But his anger is still amongst the heathens for what they've done to us. You know, go ahead.
And I have smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. So, hey, if you whether you want to believe it or not, this is the hand of the Lord. You know, going into his messengers, the prophets, speaking of our apostles and elders on down. You know, because he had compassion on his people, sent forth his messengers, rising them up B times, and sending them, telling you of the time of a prophesying of great evil. You know, but as the time pretty much going into there's still light at the end of the tunnel, but you know, as we know, Amos 8th chapter is going to be a famine, and then people are going to try to, because people don't value stuff till they don't have it no more. You know, so that's going to pretty much going into us being quickened. You know, we realize the truth is way worth more than the desire of this world. That's why we're here, because we know there's a way out. You know?
That door of repentance is literally slowly closing as we speak. It's just closing, and like the brother always say, that light is getting, that light getting ready to get shut, man. You know, that door is getting ready to be sealed, and the Heavenly Father getting ready to close his door, man.
The light priest will close that door, man. At this point.
Yeah. And that's why in Jeremiah 28th chapter it says, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then the prophet shall be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. You know?
Then shall be known who are my children.
And when you know, the things do start to come to pass, then you're gonna know who the false prophets were. That they were telling you about smooth things, peaceful things, all prosperity, get the vaccine, all that is gonna be manifested. That they weren't real prophets, man. And then while everything that we've been telling you is happening, then you know, then the Lord's dividing the sheep from the goat, man, even amongst Israel. You know?
I got a quick precept. Matthew 13, verse 44, and it reads, all right, Matthew 23, like at 13, verse, I started at 41, says, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, and he shall cast them out into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Okay, verse 43 says, then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. All right, and that's we getting happen now. You know the parable of the wise virgins and the foolish virgin says, who have ears to hear, let them hear. This is the point I wanted. Verse 44, it says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like to a treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for the joy thereof goeth and sell all that he hath and buy that field, bro. Cause you gotta think, man. It's so beautiful. It's like, that's why, you know, we those men, we gonna be so precious inside of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because bro, this world offer you, like, it shows you everything pleasing to the eye. Gold, cars, women, the flesh. It shows you all that. But out of all those things, you saw this truth, and that was the most beautiful and precious gem to you out of anything on this planet. And it wasn't like, once again, it was spiritual. This scripture didn't have, it wasn't wrapped in gold and you know, put on a platter, and like, bro, we saw that this was more beautiful to obtain this and work hard for this than anything in this world, bro. You know how you know, we are our biggest critics, but bro, we those men, bro, we very precious in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahshai for the simple fact that we saw this more beautiful than anything in the world, bro. That's a heavy thing, bro. That's very heavy.
Going into that Matthew 19:27, you know, we've forsaken all to follow thee. You know, so, you know, going into what you were speaking on, it's like, yo, how much more everybody else, these other people couldn't give up some of the smaller things, you know? They couldn't give up just being in the house and reading for a while. Couldn't give up just, you know, certain things like that, but nevertheless, getting the edges and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is, Hey man, this is a great position to be in, man. You know, it's very humbling and, you know, definitely thankful to be here. But, you know, hey man, it's, I wouldn't say it's simple, but, you know, hey, you have to be ultimately chosen for this, man. You know, because, you know, not necessarily anything we did to be able to be here, ultimately because, you know, this isn't of, how do I say, of our own hand. This is predestination. You know, the Lord had already called us into this, man. All right? But what? We answered that phone call, you know?
It's just a matter of time before you got the call and did something with it. You know, because brothers came into the truth at all different times and different manners. And the Lord, you know, when he said, all right, you're ready, you know, he'll put whatever in front of you for you to get it. Whether you came across the videos online or you walked in front of a camp or whatever, or maybe your cousin knew something and he told you and then you looked it up and then you were sealed. You know, but the Lord is dealing with these little men on the earth, and you know, men that don't seem to have any power. Okay, they're not anybody in the eyes of their community.
Some common folk.
Yeah, it's common folk. This regular poor men. You know,
Just like what they said about your house. Ain't nothing good ever come out of Nazareth. What y'all talking about, man? That's how they look at us, man.
Yeah, but
The servant is not greater than his master. They thought, you know, in the eyes of the 2/3, they looked at Yahushua as he wasn't shit, but he was the King of Kings. You know, so they're gonna look at us the same way. But hey, we still giving you the same message Yahushua gave you.
That's right. You know, we're preaching the end of your kingdom. We're preaching the uprising of Israel. Not you Israelis, all right, but the true Israel, the true nation of Israel. This is all being predicted or prophesied through the Spirit of the Lord, through the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and it's clear that that's the true name. All right, that's the name with the power. All right, nothing else. All right, we don't say God and Jesus and all those things, man. We call upon the true name. The power is with the name. The prophecies speak. We go into prophecies, and the prophecies come to pass. And so when you're watching and you're seeing that what men are saying is true, and you realize it's not their words, it's the words of the same Bible that you have in your house, then that should do something to your spirit. That should do something to you. Like, hold on, this man is saying all these things, and he's also saying that Native Americans and Negroes and Hispanics are the children of the Most High and nobody else. And you happen to be one of those people, that should do something to you, man. All right? It did something for all these people in this room and all across the world. But you're different. You don't see the beauty in that. Well, guess what? When the rest of the prophecy is going to pass, then guess what? You're going to be stuck on the left side, not on the right side. Go ahead, brothers.
Okay, anything? No, you got something?
I got one real quick. Psalms 91:14. Real quick, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name. And you know, going back to that point, we've said I love when Yahweh Shai, bro. That's not light, man. You know, of course we see ourselves as unprofitable servants indeed. Yes, we are. You know, not to exalt ourselves more than we ought to, but bro, in the sight of Yahweh Shai, we are his beloved, man. You know, because he has set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. Alright, that's heavy, man. You know, brothers really show that love for Yahweh Shai, man. I'm telling you. When Yahweh Shai return, bro, he gonna be happy to see us, bro.
Yeah.
You know, if we be those men, you know, we be those men, bro. He's gonna, bro. It's gonna be a man, bro. He's gonna be happy to see us just as happy as
We got to see him.
we are to see him, bro. It's telling you, man. We gonna be precious in the sight of
And you know, Yahushua said he's not gonna drink wine, no wine until he sees us again, bro. So he you know, he's waiting for us, bro. Like he wants to see us again,
that
bro.
bride.
You know,
He's ready to see the bridegroom.
in our glory. He wants to see us in our true glory. When you first,
See us,
you
bro.
know,
Bride adoring for her husband.
Yeah, come through all the bride is doing for her husband, man. And you know that he can't wait to lift that and see that beautiful woman. Like, man, that's how we like it until Yahweh Shai, man. You know.
That's what he gave his life for.
that's the whole reason.
Because you say, you know, there's no greater love for a man to lay down his life for his friends, man. He called us friends, you know. So that's why, you know, we suffered with him. you know, we're going to also be glorified with him. And how are we suffering? Because of the patience of his word, man. The patience of the word of Yahweh Shem Shai being fulfilled. And how you deal with that, man. How are you able to deal with the adversity you catch and the afflictions, and knowing that ultimately Yahweh Shem Shai is going to bring you out of your affliction. All right, if you're one of those men, the Lord is going to bring you out of those temptations, man, and make a way for you to escape, so that ultimately you can receive that reward, which is what? Salvation. You know, so that's going to be a great, like the brother said, you know, and this prophesy, we read about it in 2nd Esdras too, man. This, bro, this ceremony is going to be the greatest ceremony that has ever been.
Wedding ceremony.
Topic, right? The wedding ceremony, man. You know, the bride adorned for her husband, man. You know, New Jerusalem coming out of heaven, 144,000 men literally getting a crown from Yahweh Shai from his hands, man. You know, we talk about it, but bro, man, when we Lord's will we take place of that, man, brothers gonna lose it, man.
We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah,
we talked about this place falling apart and it came to pass.
Right.
So what more less than that?
Right.
You know?
That's right.
We talk about that too. That's gonna come to pass.
Right, we're gonna keep talking about it, man. Because look, this is the new song. This song don't get old to us. You know? This song ain't really take fruition yet, man. Until when we adore it, man, you know? Wait till we put on it, wait till we actually get glorified, man. You know, with Yahweh Shai, man. You know, we're talking about universal gods, man. Gods that's gonna travel the whole universe, man. That's constantly being expanded. You know, constantly being expanded, man. You know, so we got good things and that's the balance of Yahweh Shai. The judgment that's coming to 2/3 ain't got shit to do with the elect, man. You know, we got good things coming to us. That's why when we read Jeremiah 30:7, which we went into, but he shall be saved out of it. That's the elect, man. So the Lord he gonna make a way for us to get out of this, man. But the man of the Lord is gonna hold their faith into the end.
That's right.
All right, that's what's separating us from everybody. Our faith, man. And that's when the Lord is going to try us, and what ultimately we're going to be purified, man. And you're going to know that a man of the Lord was with you and he was among you, you know. The Lord's will be those men.
Yeah, that's what like the brother was saying. That's why the Lord's gonna find his precious in his sight, man.
That's right.
Because we held this the truth precious, all right. And you know that's what the Lord is rising up right now, man. He's rising the ones that are gonna ultimately be saved. You know, as this place gets destroyed. Okay, this is gonna be go hand in hand, the salvation and the destruction that the Lord is bringing. So we'll close out on this. Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown.
Okay. Go ahead.
At the top, this is Proverbs 14 and 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown.
Okay, the house of the wicked shall be overthrown, man. That's Esau Edom's, man. His kingdom's coming to an end, is being overthrown. That's why the scriptures say that the saints shall take the kingdom by force. Right? Ultimately, he's going to be led. We've been talking about, the king leading the war. Well, Yahushua is going to be leading that overthrow, man.
That's right, brother.
Go ahead.
But the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish.
The tabernacle of the upright shall flourish, man. That's the tabernacle of David, man. The house of David. Right? That's the one. That's the ones that are going to receive those crowns. The ones that are going to be seen found precious in the sight of the Lord. Because what? For their works, man. The labors that they've been predestinated to do from the foundations of the earth. That was it. All right, Con. All right, so we'll go ahead and close out on this. Because that tabernacle is the tabernacle of the upright, which is the tabernacle of David. That the Lord said that he would rise up in these last days, man. All right, go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. It says, "For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love."
Yeah, the work and labor of love is being performed by who? The tabernacle of David, man. All right, so the Lord is not unrighteous to forget the labor of love. Just like those men that was through the Spirit, those men that rebuilt this temple, all right, during the time of Ezra, a lot of them was probably from the house of David, man. Because they had their swords in their hands, and each one of them had a job, and now we're doing the same thing. We got our swords in our hands, and each of us got our own lots, man. We're rebuilding the temple, spiritually this time. So this is part of that labor of love that we're doing, man. All right, this is labor. This is laborious work. Go ahead.
It says, Hebrews 6 and 10, "For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown towards his name, and that you have ministered to his saints and do minister."
Yeah, so we show that love to his name, man. We doing this for Yahweh Shai. We're not doing this for ourselves. Of course, we want salvation, Well, what? We want to glorify Yahweh Hashem outside. The one that deserves all the credit, man. All the glory, all the praises. You know,
Salvation is the consolation prize for it. The real prize is see Yahushua get this throne.
Yeah.
He deserves it. You know, if we can have any kind of hand in it, what else is there to do? You know, but to help Yahushua get his throne back, to usher in the kingdom of heaven. You know, whatever comes with it is great. You know, we know what comes with it, but it's really for Yahushua, like the brothers just said. Go ahead.
Psalm 16 and 10 and 11, it says, "For thou wilt not lead my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life, in thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore."
Forevermore.
The mercies and the pleasures of the Lord, man. Come on, that's what we get ready to receive, man. We don't felt that wrath. You know, the left hand side. Now it's time to see the pleasures of the right hand side, but forever.
Yeah, no more going back to this. Never going back into affliction or rising up again. You know, we're going to be joint heirs with the Lord in the kingdom of heaven.
Hey, real quick, the man who was with Yahushua, they didn't even see the times, you know, the things that we're getting ready to see, man. You know, so, but they're here today. But guess what? We're in a good stead, man, to be able to actually have a chance at seeing Yahushua return. You know, partaking in that glory. We actually have a chance at that, man. You know, because back then they didn't have. You know, they said what? Shall thou restore the kingdom of heaven at this time?
Yeah.
No, but this is a time where what? The Lord is getting ready to come back and get on that reward, man.
Sure.
You know, we have a chance. We have a chance. You know, at being partakers of His glory. You know, what a time to be alive. What a time to be in His truth.
Because now is the time to restore the kingdom unto Israel, right?
Yeah.
And this is the days that we're living in. You know, it's clear it's happening. It's just a transition, right? It ain't gonna happen overnight, but it's happening. All right. So with that, Lord's willing, this was an edifying lesson to you. I came out there for the brothers that come out and see us. We're gonna be in downtown. You know, next weekend, Lord's will. You know, they're gonna finish this stay-at-home order here on the 4th, so we'll be out there, Lord's will, somewhere in downtown, probably near the park. You'll see us. You should see the live stream on. Look the background, drive around downtown. The Lord's with you, you'll find us. All right, so Curtis Hickson Park, you can't find it. But hey, with that, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love to y'all. Come out there, pushing out His word, true sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.